Hello and welcome to Movie Theater Time Machine, the podcast where we keep it real to real. If you couldn't tell by the intro music, we watched a movie this week about cars. Some very, 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 very beautiful cars.
Yes.
We watched Gone in 60 Seconds from, it was 99?
2000.
2000.
From 2000, starring Nicolas Cage, Angelina Jolie,
I got the list if you want me to...
Robert Duvall, and I'm losing other names.
I got it. Giovanni Ribisi,
Yes.
Christopher Eccleston, Vinnie Jones, Delroy Lindo, Chi McBride, and Will Patton.
And Timothy Oliphant.
Yes.
I love him very much, so...
Yes.
Oh God, does that mean you watched the Hitman movie, which was terrible?
No, I like him from lots of other things.
Oh, okay.
And the
You
Hitman
don't
movie
watch that
was
one.
hot garbage.
Yeah.
No. I liked him from, he was in a show on Netflix with Drew Barrymore, which, for whatever reason, the name is escaping me. She's a zombie in it, though.
Oh, God.
It's really funny, though.
Santa Clarita Diet?
Yeah,
Santa Clarita Diet.
Santa Clarita Diet,
That was
yes.
pretty funny.
That was a really funny
Yeah.
show.
She's putting organs in a blender.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's,
okay.
it's a really funny show.
Yeah.
I like potted meat.
Yeah.
I have Spam in the cupboard right now.
Yeah. Just to add
Stuff posing as meat. Spam.
Just to add a few more. Oh my God. Just to add a few more here. As Master P as Johnny D.
Oh, God,
yeah.
Fuck.
And Dan Hildebrand as Saul. Michael Pina as I cannot pronounce that. Ignacio, I think.
Ignazio?
Yeah. And that sounds right. Yeah. And Francis Fisher as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's the one who plays Robert Duvall's wife.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yep.
She
Yeah.
plays the mom on Titanic.
Yeah.
Oh,
Remember,
yeah.
I pointed out, and I was like, she's the mom on
She's the evil
Titanic.
mom. on
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Oi.
But yeah, so this week we are continuing my month, Nicolas Cage month, with Gone in 60 Seconds from 2000.
Which Nicolas Cage in this movie is the least amount of Cage that he ever really is.
Yeah.
He is as
Okay.
mildly Cage as it is possible to be.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising. 'Cause I'm thinking, like, okay, here's like
It was a little bit bland in spots.
yeah. We've got a fantasy casting that I think would bring the crazy Cage out.
But this one, to see
Remember
this,
what it was? I did a good joke, but...
so
Oh, that was a good joke
did.
I told.
Yeah.
so we included we included this one because one, I goddamn love this movie,
Yeah.
and two, it's showing that Nicolas Cage is not just crazy faces and going nuts. He actually can act.
Yeah, he did good. I mean, there was some areas, and I'll get into it when we get to it, that I'm like, I don't really believe this. And it's just, but it's not like...
I mean, it's over the top, and it is meant to be kind of goofy.
Yeah.
And there's a few moments where they try to get just a little too dark.
Yeah.
Like especially any scene that Chris Eccleston's in, because he's supposed to be that creepy, that creepy mamma jamma.
Yeah.
That
Loves carpentry.
you got a thing for wood, don't you?
That was a good line. That's a really good line.
All right, so let's do a quick go around. Joss and I, we have seen
I
this
have
movie.
seen this movie so often I can quote it.
Yeah, like legitimately, we didn't need to watch it. We could quote the whole thing
I
front to
watched
back
it
right
because I
now.
wanted to, not because we needed to.
I saw this when I was working at a place that helped people with HIV.
Yeah.
That is no longer in the city we're in. For good reasons, because healthcare got better.
Yeah.
And I watched this and I got very confused because there were patients behind me. Every time there was a car, they shouted "car."
Yeah.
And
It's like, that's most of this movie, but all right.
Yeah, it would get very distracting, kind of annoying a little bit, but... And although the best scene actually that has a pretty good... The funniest scene, in my opinion, has a very good memory attached to it, which is towards the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was one time, and Kaz, I don't think you've ever seen this, have you?
This is the first time.
Yeah.
So I think this one was a fairly kind of simple, easy to follow.
Yeah.
Just it's a dumb action flick. and it's got the whole kind of seedy underbelly sort of thing. Got the crime movie going on, but they're not bad people really. They're criminals.
One last job.
Yeah,
Gotta do the one last job because most of the old crew went legit.
Or dead.
Yeah.
Or you
Or
got
in-
Frankie
didn't
Fish,
respond.
and you tell us like, oh no, they're out.
They're dead or in jail or
doing a
didn't
nickel
respond.
doing a nickel up in Chino.
in Chino, yeah.
I don't know. I just kept kind of thinking how I like the characters better in like Grand Theft Auto 5. But that it has the advantage of being able to play the characters, so you identify with them more,
And,
and you get to spend more time with them.
Yeah, GTA 5 is a multiple 10s, 20s, 30-hour kind of storyline
Except
just with
for
each one.
one character in GTA 5, which I cannot stand.
Trevor?
Trevor. I
Oh,
fucking
he was
can't
insane.
stand him.
Trevor
I
is
cannot stand
Trevor
that
is
character.
much is
cannot.
way too much.
I like the other two characters. I do.
Yes,
Their
Franklin
names.
and Michael?
Yes,
Yep.
I like
Franklin and
Did
Michael.
you
They
make
both.
Michael do some yoga?
Yes,
And he
I
complained the whole time.
I actually really like Michael's character because he actually weirdly grows a little bit as a character as you play him.
Yeah.
And
Giggity?
I had to save all three of them, though, at the end.
oh, I couldn't care less for
I
Trevor.
have-
I fucking
I have-
can't stand him.
I have played all of GTA 5. I am literally like 2 missions away from the end, and I stopped.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I tend to do that.
I
I'm
do that a
almost
lot,
done.
and it drives me insane.
Sometimes I do that.
He does that a lot, where he does not finish games. It drives me nuts.
Because then they're over.
I know. I realize why you do it.
Yeah.
It still drives me insane, but I understand why you do it.
That's why I play 14, because it's never over.
I know. I get it. It's
Ever.
Still, it drives me nuts. I understand why. Trust me. I am the sandbox connoisseur, but
Yeah.
it's I.
You with your 10,000 hours in The Sims.
Yes, I get it, but it's I.
Oh, how goes that 100 baby challenge? we're still on pause with that one.
Oh God, I'm at like 75, and I just needed to stop because it's too much.
Go on hiatus for a bit.
Yeah.
You'll get back to it.
Eventually. But anyway.
So so our movie starts off with
Randall. Well, no, we're with Kip Brains actually.
with Kip Raines and
And his crew.
crew. Specifically, we got Mirrorman and
With
Mirrorman and I think Tumblr's not there.
it's not Tumblr. No, wait, is it Tumblr? No.
So they mentioned Tumblr. He's got the wrong address because they're looking for a car at a specific address that they're going to steal, and they figure out that the car they're going to steal is this beautiful Porsche something.
He's gonna get his tool. That's all I remember.
It's a Porsche something, and they figure out it's in this showroom at a
car dealership. Now I
And
know
she-
about car dealerships.
And she was ranting about car dealerships.
Who's the idiot who threw the brick?
That's Kip.
That's Kip.
Yeah.
Okay, because see, the problem is when there's a bunch of stuff introduced in the beginning of a movie, and I don't know exactly who or what is important yet.
It's Kip is the younger brother. Kip Raines is the younger brother of Randall Raines, also known as Memphis.
Yeah.
They find the car they're going to get, and he's
later.
like, "Let me get my tool." And his tool is a goddamn chunk of a cinder block from the
a
trunk.
brick.
And some
No.
other guy's like, don't do it, don't do it.
It's Freb. Freb's the one
Freb's
in the
the
car
guy.
because he's the one who panics when they're about to smash into him
Now here's the deal. Now they're breaking into a car dealership. Okay.
to steal a very specific car.
I work at a car dealership. Okay.
She was ranting the whole time.
No. I work at a car dealership, and this particular scene right here is accurate. Okay? Because what he does is, the first thing they do is they say that they have to find the keys for this car when he breaks in. Now, do I
Is
know
it the
about
Mercedes they kept talking about?
No,
No,
this is a Porsche.
this is a Porsche. This is not a Mercedes. The laser cut keys of the Mercedes, these actually do exist.
The
The
unstealable cars.
unstealable cars? No, that's
There's no
bullshit.
Such thing
No
as
such
an
thing.
unstealable car.
But-
I was thinking, there's your product.
Laser cut keys, true, actually do exist. They are a pain in the ass. However, these are Porsches. They break into this car dealership by breaking the window. Alarm goes off.
But they're in and out so fast.
They are in and out
before-
so fast because they have to find the lockbox to the keys. Do these things exist? Yes. Do they actually...
Are they out-
Are they on
are
the
they-
walls like they find them? Yes.
Are they in the middle of the showroom?
No. They are
Absolutely
usually
not.
in an office. I'm not going to say where they are in the office or whose office they're in because
Well, a lot of them are.
into an office.
Yeah.
Is it a big office?
No.
Well, no, it's to get the keys and
Yeah,
They usually have these
so-
lock boxes for these keys in someone's office.
Yeah, so I mean,
they're not going to be out on a
They are
post in
not
the middle
out
of the
on.
showroom.
Yeah,
No,
they're-
they are
no.
not in the
I
showroom.
thought you were talking about the location of the
No.
The car is
Yeah.
on this rotating plinth
And yes,
in the center
these
of
things
the
do.
place.
These things
Yeah.
do happen. These things, they
Now, I can add a little bit more to that because my dad worked for dealerships for the better part of his working life.
do. Yes.
And they would never, ever, ever have something rotating in the middle of the night with lights
No,
on.
because these things are
Okay.
off. All the electricity is off at this
Yeah.
point. They shut all the shit off.
Yeah,
Come on.
and it's just, but it's pointing right towards what's about to happen, pointing towards the dealership saying, steal me.
Right,
Yup.
exactly.
You might as well do this, just steal me.
Also, guess what?
Yeah.
There isn't that much gas in these cars.
No.
You're not
No.
going to get far.
And you're not going to take this car out for a test drive, for example.
No.
They drive this in to put it there because this is a show car.
Right.
And if you
This
want to
is-
drive that car, they've got another one out back.
Yes.
That's the one you test drive.
2 or
Yes.
3. At
Well,
least,
maybe
yeah.
not 2, but they may have
Yeah.
1.
Well, I mean, if it's a Volkswagen dealership, it's usually standards 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is a Porsche dealership, so this is one that they
Well-
have, and they probably have another one in the warehouse.
Actually, yeah, 'cause
What
that's
else do you have in
true.
the
You're
warehouse?
right, yeah.
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 So yeah.
Well,
this
yeah,
is-
my dad worked for an Audi Volkswagen Porsche dealership, but they lost the Porsche contract in the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Probably.
They may have one out back, and it's probably not that color,
Yeah.
but.
No.
Yeah, so Kip uses his specialized tool, breaks the window, and they storm into the building. They get the keys and they escape out of the front window of the building because we got to keep everybody's attention because action movie.
This is the stupidest thing they could do.
And Kip is an absolute kind of moron at this point because he pulls up to another car at a red light
and fucking races him.
and decides to race him because we are
what, 22 and dumb.
Was it somebody you knew?
No, he's just he pulls up. He sees a pretty girl sitting in a car that is obviously not a Porsche.
Yeah.
But pretty girl, kind of revs the engine at the stoplight, challenges this douchebag, and
the guy in the car is just getting all pissed off. So they have themselves a race down. Now, I can't imagine that any street in LA, even at night, would be clear enough to do a drag race like this.
no.
It's like, no.
No. And
See, I didn't know who Kip was yet until the whole gotta save him or his brother will get killed thing.
Yep.
Right.
But now that just adds to the pile of I don't give a shit about Kip and what happens to him.
Well, because Kip's kind of an asshole
Exactly.
for a good chunk of the movie.
For like at least 2/3 of the movie, Kip is a douchebag.
yes.
Yeah.
And we find out later, like, his reasons for being a douchebag, and they may
do?
not. He thinks Memphis abandoned them.
Yeah.
Because Memphis never said anything. He
Nobody
just
talks
left.
to each other in this movie until the very end. Like,
He just-
Mom kept her mouth shut about why
Mom
Memphis
didn't tell
left. Memphis didn't talk to him about why Memphis left. Nobody in Memphis's crew even talked to Kip.
And Kip would have been like maybe 15, 16 when this happened.
So he was
So his
still
brother
in
just disappeared.
he was still in his puberty adolescence thing. So all he knew was that his big brother, who was this big tough car boost, took off and left him in
and now what?
and
now
he's
what's he
completely
supposed
gone.
to do?
What's he supposed to do? now?
Well, I don't know. I would logically think, he was probably trying to avoid trouble because
But you
car
wouldn't,
thief.
but I don't think he knew about that, and also,
And he idolized his brother.
Yeah.
Kip knew that
Yeah.
Memphis was a car thief. He knew about that whole thing.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, he
Yes.
did. He knew his brother was a car thief, and he looked up to him. He thought he was the coolest thing ever.
But
and
because
suddenly,
Memphis didn't say anything when he left, he thought
He was
his
abandoned.
brother just took off with all of his money and left them behind.
Yeah.
And that's why he was so angry, because Kip also would have been 15, 16, and we're not rational when we're teenagers.
And I just want to put in a little bit of headcanon here because Giovanni Ribisi was for a while has been a bit actor in many different shows.
yeah,
You see him, he's like that guy that you see all over the place.
It's that guy. Like, I remembered him from the Wonder Years.
I remembered him from Friends.
I'm going to add a little bit more to it because in my headcanon, he played a character who was the on-again, off-again boyfriend of the lead of my two dads.
Huh.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yes, he was.
I'm talking 80s, so I know it's gonna perk you up,
No,
Josh.
dude,
So,
let's see. Oh, Stacey
Yeah.
Keach. She was the main
Stacey
character. Keenan. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Stacey.
yeah,
Keenan.
Stacey Keach is a totally different
Yeah,
thing.
that's a guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Stacey Keenan. Yeah, she was also on Step by Step.
Exactly.
So
yeah. Yeah, so it's just where he played this one that was kind of like the bad boy misunderstood,
Right.
so to speak.
He's got the look down.
It's my headcanon that this is the same character from him.
Oh my God.
And yes, probably 5 people know who I'm talking about.
I do.
Yeah.
What's
4 people know who I'm talking about.
And one of those 5 is sitting in this room.
Yeah. 4 people out there know who I'm talking about. For some reason, I don't know
And
why.
they just went, yes!
I loved that show. It wasn't
Yeah.
God, wasn't one of the people who was on that show, wasn't that Paul Reiser?
Paul Reiser, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
okay, that's really funny
And-
considering Paul Reiser is currently on the in Stranger Things season 4. So
I'm just picturing him from Aliens, but
Yeah.
so
fucking way
Mad
to
about
done.
you?
yes.
Yeah, it's the guy,
Same
yeah.
guy.
Him too.
Yep.
Yeah, and Stacey Keenan, and also I do want to point out that the father of Giovanni Ribisi is actually an actor who has my favorite name to say out loud, Dick Butkus.
Yeah.
Which does remind me of the Dick Butt meme.
Oh my God.
That's, I say, Dick Butkus is probably one of the most fun actors' names, and the
Yeah.
best stuntman's name to
Yeah.
say is Dick Warlock.
Yes.
Not Dick
It's-
Wolf.
And the funny thing is,
That
Dunk
Dick Wolf, dunk dunk.
yeah.
Can just do whatever he
Oh, that
wants.
reminds me of
His
Family
name's Dick
Guy
Wolf.
too. I want you to go ahead and marry yourself so you can be Dick Wolf. I should be Dick Wiener. Can I go be Dick Wolf Wiener? Oh my God, yes. And Stacey Keenan also quit acting, is now an attorney in LA who prosecutes robberies. So it all kind of comes
Wow.
back into...
Dang. She did good for herself.
Yeah.
It kind of comes back into this, and it's just one of those, I'm like, okay, this is just really odd, but yeah, like, he's that guy. I'm like, I've seen this guy everywhere, and like, you know, I just start picking off and naming names. To me, I'm like, there's one that I'm like, my brain just de-wrinkled and flattened for a moment.
Yep.
And
It's like, oh,
one
hold on.
one actor is way out of place here.
You just hear your brain kind of go smooth for a second.
Yeah.
You're just like, whoa, no, hang on.
Yeah.
Nope, we're
The
back.
thing is, Giovanni Ribisi, he's actually a very good actor.
He is. No, he's
He really
very good.
is.
Yeah.
He's very good at what he does.
Yeah.
He's good at playing
In
the
this
bad guy. He's good
Mm.
at playing the misunderstood kid. He's good at playing the dumbass.
Yeah.
And then
He's a
in this
really good actor.
in this
Yeah.
particular movie, he's hogging all of the vocal fry.
Yeah,
Yes,
like,
he is. Yeah.
Every
Yeah.
single word he says until the very end of the movie ends with
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Tina
Yeah.
Belcher?
Pretty much.
A little bit. Yep.
Save some vocal fry for the rest of us, man. Jeez.
Well, Freb does a pretty good job of it too.
Yeah. So yeah, the 3 that went out to Rob were Kip, Mirror Man, and
And Freb.
Freb. We'll explain Freb later because
I love Freb.
I've actually read the novelization of this, and we get an explanation. There's a novelization.
What?
There's a novelization of everything. We
Okay.
get an explanation as to why his name is Freb.
Yeah,
But,
man, bro. Oh, Freb.
Mirror Man, obviously, because he's always wearing sunglasses. Their buddy Tumblr is good at picking locks.
Yeah.
And Toby, because that's his name.
I like
Yeah.
Toby. Toby. Okay, the actor who plays Toby too.
Order pizza like nobody's business.
That's Freb.
Hey, man, people gotta eat.
People gotta eat, right?
That was a good line.
Toby, the actor who plays Toby is also another one of those actors who he's been in a lot of stuff.
He's like, so
Yeah.
it's that guy.
It's that kid. He's
Yeah.
been in a lot of things.
William Lee Scott.
Yeah, he's been in
Yeah.
a lot of stuff.
And you get the,
Yeah.
there's another that guy. It has a very, very minor, brief role when we first get introduced to Sphinx.
Okay, Sphinx is, if anybody else in this world has seen Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, he's Big Chris. He's got
Yeah.
Big Chris and Little Chris, and everybody who is a British person who has seen British movies knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say about that.
So we'll get to Sphinx in a bit. So yeah, they end up racing this guy, and they race past a traffic stop, and they end up catching an entire police escort following them, and they think they've ditched them, and they bring the car back to the warehouse where they're, storing all of these cars. And in this warehouse, we see that there's a huge list of cars, on a wall that's been done in blacklight marker. So,
which is a good idea at first.
Yeah,
but
the cops.
Then somebody's trying to scrub it.
Yeah, the cops do find them, and they make their escape to the dulcet tones of Digital Method, "Busy Child."
Good song.
It's a good song.
The soundtrack to this movie is awesome.
The soundtrack is fucking amazing. I played one of the songs from the soundtrack at the very beginning of the episode. Yeah, the old white cracker
I was
stuff.
expecting you to go like, okay, let's podcast.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
So, they basically they get caught, but all the thieves manage to make it away.
Yeah.
All the cars are left behind, and
the cars are left behind. They break the
black light,
which is so fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Because they're rushing out and they accidentally break it, and we are introduced to Detective Castlebeck and the other guy,
and
Timothy Oliphant.
Timothy Oliphant.
I can't remember his character's name, but it's like the two of them work for the Grand Theft Auto, not the game, the actual division of the LA
police force.
Yeah.
And their whole thing is trying to bust, car theft rings, obviously. And
they've been, I think Castlebeck has just been kind of, bored since Randall Reigns has disappeared.
Yeah. And they find a few dozen cars, and as Oliphant says, and these are not Honda Civics. They find high-end, expensive, rare cars, and they realize they're onto something big. There's this huge thing going down. They don't know who it's for. They don't know why. So their whole thing is that they're going to go around and they're going to shake down their informants. They're going to, kick over some rocks, figure out what's going on. Before they leave, Castlebeck finds the broken blacklight bulbs and sends them off to evidence. They go and talk to, I think the character's name is Fuzzy.
Yeah.
He's this guy that works down at the dock, seems to be an informant.
Or a former informant.
A former informant who's on parole, and they kind of, threaten him. He eventually says there's an order, big order for, a lot of cars. It's for the end of the week. I don't know who's involved. I don't know who sent the order down. And, all right, fine. So they know there's a big order of cars coming up. They know something's going down. Then we swap over to pea filter yellow, middle of nowhere. I want to say Northern California-ish.
Santa Monica, essentially.
Well, further than Santa Monica. That's still technically in LA.
True.
He had to get the hell out of there. And we meet Memphis Reigns, our Nicolas Cage. Our former retired car thief who is training the next generation of racers, and he's making this speech about the car is you. You are the car.
You're going to be the car.
You're going to be the next generation. The camera switches, and there's a bunch of 7-year-olds.
I think that's funny as hell.
Yep, and he just puts them all in go-karts, and they're going around. It's like, you just shaved a second off your lap time, Billy.
Yeah. The best line in this is where the kid starts sputtering out, and it's sort of it's like me when I was first playing on a PlayStation 1, some racing game with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And it was split screen top and bottom.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, hey, I'm doing fine. There's one car that's puttering out at the bottom, and I thought the top one was mine. I'm like, yay, I'm doing good. And we both go at the end. I'm like, hey, I win. I'm like, wait.
What
was I playing? Shit. All right.
I don't know what that was, but it wasn't driving.
Yeah, that is a great line. That is a great line. Because my friend Ryan looked at me and goes, dude, the directional stick's on the left. That's going to help.
You're just puttering in a small circle. Oh.
That's my brother and me playing Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit on the PlayStation 1. Chris and I used to play that game constantly.
Yeah.
Except we were never in competition with each other when we were supposed to be. Because we used to pretend that we were car thieves and that we were... Because there was a section where you were supposed to run from the cops.
Yeah.
And we would pretend that we were on the same team and that we would run from the cops and that we were both either bank robbers or car thieves and that because my brother and I were the strangest siblings on the planet. We either hated each other or we loved each other dearly.
And why not can be both?
I guess. And that we would play this game together, and if one of us either broke the records or whatever of each other, we would congratulate each other and not try to kill each other. If that game was the best game on the planet for the PlayStation 1, in my opinion. And Dan and I actually had this discussion because we were talking about driving fast, and he hates driving fast, and I love it.
Like I was driving my sister's car today, and we got up to like 89 miles an hour, and I didn't even realize it. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I do not enjoy it. No. Because when the car goes, I get the idea of a rush from going fast. I get the idea, but I also just do not feel like I'm in control.
I
at
agree
a speed
with
like
you.
that. So it's just like the tiniest thing can go wrong, and my ass is flipping end over end, and I'm dead.
That happened to me is where we rented, it was like, we took a trip to Maine, and I rented a car for it because I didn't really want to drive my own. And I think this was maybe like 7-8 years ago or so, and then I'm driving this, and it was, I don't remember, I think it was whatever company came out with a Cube.
Nissan.
Yeah, so thank you. Yeah, I was driving the Cube.
Those weird asymmetrical back ends.
And we're in the middle of like Vermont. No, we're in the middle of New Hampshire. We're almost at the border. We're on the highway, cruising along. No one is around us. I look down at the speedometer, and it's 100.
Yep. It's like you can easily get there
out of nowhere, out of nowhere, and we're in some bumfuck area where the cop would probably go, "Y'all going a little bit fast, aren't you?
Going just a touch too fast, there, son.
You okay? You ever drove that car before? Shoot, I ain't want to have one of those."
You're trying to get how you can't get there from here.
Yeah, it was almost not quite the Manor cop, but like they might have done, they might have done cop work over the border, or might have talked to Mainers enough that they just kind of developed the Manor side.
Need to get the eye up.
Yeah.
Eye up.
No, I can't do that. No. Well, fire. No, I can't do that. No. Well, you're going to flip yourself off. You won't do that.
I wouldn't go up that way if I was you.
Hey.
Nothing up there for you.
Nope.
City boy.
See, no, I don't have that. I think I'm missing that part of my brain. I don't know. Because I like going fast. I enjoy it. I don't know.
That and I think I'm also used to not going fast because the mail trucks that I drive, those things couldn't hit 80 if you pushed them out of a plane.
Yeah,
right.
I don't know. I think I told him it's like when, for example, when we're in an airplane and when you're about to take off, that's my favorite part.
You see, and that I get. That makes sense because I'm not in control of that airplane.
Yeah.
It's like the takeoff of when you're going down on a roller coaster.
Yep.
You've got that rush.
Not for me. No.
I love it. It's
I love roller coasters, but again, I think it's because I'm not in control of it. I can just kind of let it happen, but if I'm in control of it, if the tiniest thing goes wrong, then that's my fault.
I understand that, I guess. To a certain extent, I guess I understand it, but I don't know. I still enjoy the speed. So I don't know, but that's where we differ.
So we we're at the go-kart track.
We're at the go-kart track, and Randall gets a phone call.
Nope, Randall sees someone from his past.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Atlee Jackson, one of the other thieves that he worked with back in the day is there at the go-kart track.
He's played by
I can't remember his name.
I got you, Will Patton.
Yes, Will Patton.
Who I see every time I see this man, I think of Armageddon.
Yep.
So every time I see him, I just imagine him from Armageddon, and that's the only thing I can think of.
So he's playing Atlee Jackson.
Yep. I'm sorry. It's true.
Yeah,
he comes to Memphis to tell him what happened, that his brother screwed up a big order boost for a big, scary new criminal who runs all the dark ponies down in Long Beach.
By the name of Raymond Calitri.
Yep, they call him the Carpenter.
Because he likes to play with wood.
Because
I'm 12.
He's really obsessed with building furniture.
Otherwise known as the Ninth Doctor.
Yep. Well,
He looks
Christopher Eccleston,
weird
but with
because
hair.
he's got hair.
Yeah, it's not a good look.
He's got hair, and he's not a good guy this time.
No.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Eccleston's really good at playing bad guys.
Yeah.
Like, he
but
really
my,
is.
Yeah.
okay, my introduction to Christopher Eccleston was this movie, but beyond that, when I first got into Doctor Who, he was my first Doctor.
Yeah.
It's like,
So
nice
it's
to
like,
meet you,
okay,
Rose.
now
Run
he's
for
a
your
good
life.
guy. No, nice to meet you, Rose. Run.
Yeah. And you're right. I mean, he's one of those guys that's kind of like, where the outside the U.S. where it's like, oh, they did this really great breakout role, but turns out they've been acting for 20 years.
Right.
They're one of the 9 actors in England.
Yeah, right. Right. He's turned out he's been acting for a very long time. I think most Americans know him as Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And but he he actually has a very, very long
career.
list of acting.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Very
And
much
you're
like-
right, mostly bad guys.
Yes, he's very
Yeah.
good at being the bad guy.
Yeah. And also he has stage play stuff
Very
too.
much. Very, very much.
Which kind of is weird, but a lot more stage play. But also, if you can see he's the bad guy, I would invite listeners, look up Christopher Eccleston on Wikipedia and just look at the 2019 photo that he has.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, and you see him like, yeah, he could be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He could be the bad guy. He was that older guy who you just want to avoid on your street.
Yeah, he's that one that you just you keep your head down and your hands in your pockets when you
Yeah.
pass by him.
Yeah, I mean, again, pretty damn good actor, but you're right. A lot of hair, he didn't look good.
With hair, he looks
Yeah.
quite different. But
Yeah.
Ray McAleatrey is like the big bad of this movie, and he's got Kip.
Yeah.
Atlee brings Memphis back to L.A. to try to talk things out. Tries to pay off the $10,000 that he not forwarded, but he
Yeah.
advanced to Kip.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be good enough for Calitri because I promised 50 cars and I
Yeah.
have no cars. So either you do this
Or I
and
kill
save
your
your brother, or I kill your brother, or you take the deal, you run, I kill you, your mother, and your brother and your mother for the trouble you've caused me. So basically, Memphis does not have a choice in this matter. It's either everybody dies or he steals some cars and does stuff he says he wasn't going to ever do again.
And I have the list of the 50 cars.
Oh no, please
All
don't
50?
read all of it.
Yeah. All
They-
50.
They said 25 of the cars weren't going to be much of an issue. It was like the big crazy
Yeah.
ones, because there are at least 3 or 4 crazy Ferraris, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
There's the 3 Mercedes.
3
which are-
Cadillac Eldorados. All from different eras. 2 from the 50s and 1 from 2000.
There's also a Cadillac SUV that they got to
There
steal, so
is.
that's an Escalade.
There is
There's a Humvee.
a 98 Dodge Viper Coupe GTS. Several Porsches.
Not surprising.
No, it's Long Beach,
Yeah.
And 3 or 4 Mercedes-Benz, a Lincoln Navigator, 2 Jaguars, 4 Infinities, 2 Toyotas, and of course there is Eleanor.
The Shelby
The
GT
Shelby
500.
Mustang GT 500 1967.
Yep.
All of these have ladies' names,
Of course they do.
Because
which
it's easier to
Yeah.
fool people listening in on the wires when you're talking
Yeah.
about ladies instead of Porsche, GT 500, etc., etc.
Although I would think, depending on what they say, would you have like cops wanting to bust prostitutes?
Yeah, kind of.
yeah,
So, basically they figure out they're going to have to do this, they're going to have to do this in one night, but
They're gonna need some help.
he
Yeah.
needs help. So he goes
Yeah.
to his old mentor, goes to Otto,
Yeah.
I can't remember the last name, goes to his old mentor Otto, who's played by Robert Duvall.
And okay, that's one here. So it's like you got Robert Duvall, like Robert fucking Duvall, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's got such a small part in this, and he's so damn good.
It's,
Okay.
it's a small
Yeah.
role, but
Alright.
it's so critical.
Now, Robert Duvall has played a character who's dealt in cars before.
Right?
Have you ever seen the movie Days of Thunder?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Yes. and I have seen it, but when he gives the spiel and you kind of see that they've had a history, I wanted just a 3-minute flashback scene of just showing them as like student-teacher atmosphere.
It's like him,
Just to see a little bit more, just to show why he's getting into this. And I know we're doing the thing where you overanalyze something that doesn't need to be overanalyzed, but
that's what we
That's what we do.
but it's just that one. I'm like, I just wanted a little bit more, just to say it's like, okay, he had a place that went from chop shop to restoration,
Right.
And seems to be really happy. It's a mom and pop style business. Everyone's legit.
They could have even done like a black and white sort of overlay as to what it looked like before to what it looks like now.
Yeah,
they
you just get that. You get that.
Yeah,
Just
kind
get
of sound
a
effect
little
over
bit
it.
of the relationship, just to show why he would go back into it. He's like, all right, good,
Yeah.
Anything for you, Renz. I got you, man.
Yep.
Right. They
Memphis,
could've-
I got you.
And that's
yeah.
what he ends up
Yeah.
doing, because he first off says, impossible, you can't do it. And then as he's about to leave, he's like, no, wait, stop.
Yeah.
Not completely impossible.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you can tell, it's like he's all about restoration, he's about second chances.
Yeah.
But you can also tell that he's got that little bit of the car thief
Yeah.
kind of left in him.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like,
Small bit that's kicking around.
it's like,
yeah.
I'm happy where I am, I'm happy with what I've done. But I'm a little bored.
Yeah.
There's still a little thrill of it that he's
Yeah.
missing from it,
And this is good because he's done so many things like the Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, Bullet, True Grit, Godfather 1 and 2.
If he was in Bullet, that's the longest.
That's another one,
That's the
too.
longest car chase in cinema history.
Right.
Yeah, the 1990 Handmaid's Tale, which that's what it's about. Days of Thunder, Great Santini, and Tender Mercies. Which all of those I've seen, and all those he's played this very same style person of just an absolute prick who just gets there and goes, okay, let's just get this done. Like,
Right.
it's just like that. And, when he was in this later side, I believe he's retired now or is doing bit parts here and there.
He's 90.
He's 91. We
years
looked,
old.
Yeah.
we looked it up because we were
Okay.
like, is Robert Duvall still alive? And it's like, yes, he is.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely he's one of the Hollywood old guard, still.
Absolutely.
But, you look at it, I'm like, okay, he's played the same style character of just one more.
He's a mentor.
Just one more thing I'll do. And I just wanted to see a little bit more here because I was struggling believing that he was like, they were so close. Because it's all in one night. I mean, I love bottle-ish movies or like small timeline movies. But it's just that I'm like, that got me. That's my deal with that.
They had to bottleneck it. Everything has to be done quick.
Yeah, but just show a little bit just to show the relationship. Like, Nick Cage walks in, he's like, hi.
Yeah.
I'm your friend. Hi, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, he walked in and I look at his face, he's like, are you serving pie? You got any pie in the fridge?
So he recruits Otto to help him.
Yeah.
And
Otto's basically like, all right, let's start calling people.
Yeah.
Before we do that, though, he has to go and see his mom.
Yeah.
Because, well, he's back in town. He hasn't seen his family in 6 years. So he goes to the diner where his mom works. And she's so excited to see him, and then her face drops. Like what the fuck are you doing here? Why are you here?
Yeah.
And he explains Kip's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble. And if I get him out, it means doing things I said I wasn't going to do again. And she's like, do what you need to do. But at the same time, there are cops in this diner who spot him, Randall Raines, and call Detective Castlebeck. So Castlebeck and his boy kind of waylay him outside the diner and give him the whole threatening spiel. Like, if you use an aerosol can in a way other than recommended on the can, I will put you away forever.
Now, here's my gripe with this movie, okay? Everything happens so damn fast.
Yes.
This is my gripe.
Yes.
They do it in 3 days. They're given a timeline in 72 hours. Everything happens split second. LA is a huge place.
Yeah.
So unless
the cop calls Castlebeck, regardless of where he is, he gets there instantaneously.
Yeah, he gets there within the span of time of like
this is my problem with this movie. Yeah. Everything that Castlebeck does in this movie happens instantaneously.
So goddamn fast.
Regardless of where they are in this movie, Castlebeck gets there like that. So,
I agree with you.
And that's my gripe with this entire movie, and it happened even more so when I watched it last night.
Yeah.
Because
it's one of those, when you think about it, like, Los Angeles County is bigger than the entire state of Rhode Island.
yes.
Yeah.
Now, granted, Rhode Island's tiny, but it's an
But it's
entire
still
state as opposed to a city.
Right. So
True.
you drive from one end of Rhode Island to another, it's still going to take you somewhere within 45 minutes to an hour. It can in certain areas. So,
Especially with the infamous LA traffic,
and I'm going
too.
to say traffic, and I don't care if
At
you're a
this
cop or
time,
not.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. There's an accident.
Yeah.
I don't care. Anything happens, you're fucked.
And the traffic does kind of come back to bite them a little bit later in the movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
But, that's... A little bit later in the movie, we get that idea of the... Just floor it. You can make it.
Let's see what happens.
You got this.
That was a good scene.
But, like, right here, when the cop calls Castlebeck to say, guess who I just saw
You're never
in this
going to
diner?
guess who just walked into this diner.
And then, like, 5 minutes later, Castlebeck is there. I don't care. That is completely unrealistic.
Yep.
I think I think that scene should be studied in film school.
Yes.
Yep.
Because you could say, like, when acting and writing is good, and this is a conversation between, Memphis and his mother.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could see the whole relationship in one conversation.
Right.
Just the look on her face, just as it goes from my boy to, oh God, why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
what
fine.
happened to, and it shows everything.
That's a perfectly good conversation that they have.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes there seems to be more telling than showing in
Right.
this movie.
True.
Then that's fine.
And I have trouble giving a shit about the characters.
Well, the majority of the budget went into the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cars.
Yeah,
Yes.
which I don't give much of a shit about, so I was kind of
Yeah.
getting tired towards the end, like,
I've never been a huge car guy. Like, I don't know how to rebuild an engine. I open a hood and I'm just like, yep, that's an engine.
Yeah.
But just the visual beauty of cars, especially most of the ones they were going after were older model cars, and I love... Now, cars today, they look fine.
Yeah.
But they look like, alien pods.
Standard.
They're like alien pods and shit.
they're the tape dispenser.
I love old, like, early 80s and older, like the boxy,
I agree with you.
tanky,
Yeah.
giant-ass vehicles. Like, Eleanor is such a beautiful car.
Yeah.
I fucking love that car. And the Cadillac that Fred steals later on.
1983.
Yeah.
An 83 Eldorado.
Yeah.
It's like, they might consider it a piece of shit. It's like, I think it's beautiful.
I don't think it's a piece of shit. And the fact that they actually start, when Castlebeck actually starts, like, bad-mouthing it, I get a little upset, actually, about it. Because I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with that car?
37 Ford over here. You gotta...
There's nothing
this.
wrong with that car. And him bad-mouthing it a little bit actually made me a little upset. It's like,
Oi.
there is nothing wrong with that vehicle. Absolutely nothing wrong with it.
He was doing that to get a rise out of them.
He was getting a rise out of me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, there is nothing wrong with that vehicle. You talk about the 89 Toyota Corolla. Don't talk about the fucking 83 Eldorado.
So,
nothing wrong with it.
So anyway, after this whole thing, like, he's been warned, like, the Castlebeck knows he's there. And they go on a calling spree to try to get the old gang back together, but most of the old gang is either in prison, dead, or gone straight.
I do like Donnie, and I like Donnie's role.
They get Donnie Ostricki, the first one they call. He's working as a driving school instructor.
Okay.
Now, I have taught my sister and two of my friends how to drive, so I know exactly the kind of, like, situation that he's in. Granted, none of the people I taught to drive were as bad as this woman, like, not even remotely, but I do understand the stress.
But the stereotype, though...
It's a kind of a gross stereotype,
sure. Was not good.
No,
An
just something
Asian
to
girl,
I just imagined, they needed to fill this role, and she walks in, and maybe, who's going to turn down a role in a movie?
It's like, you know what, good
That's
enough.
an extra, like...
It was a typical stereotype, though. It was a Asian woman
Yeah.
Really?
It's like you can't.
Yeah.
It's like you can't drive. You can't maintain speed. You can't signal properly.
Yeah.
You can't parallel park.
Yeah.
Honey, you can't drive.
Hopefully it was, colorblind casting and it
Yeah.
she just
Yeah.
happened to
I
show
would
up.
hope that it was a colorblind casting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do love Donnie's line. It's like, you know what? I can't swim. I know I can't. So you know what I do? I stay my black ass out the pool. And she starts crying, and the phone rings. Like, oh God!
You
and
don't have to
it's
swim to work.
yeah.
Yeah.
and it's just straight up. It's like, oh, Memphis. Oh hell yeah! And he immediately fucking quits his job and just lets her drive off. Hit a beautiful
Backing
El
into
Camino.
3 people.
Backs into a beautiful El Camino, which made me sad.
Yeah.
I love Crux. You know, the car with a pickup truck bed. It's not a car. It's not a
Yeah.
pickup. It's a Crux.
Yeah.
You could put the pool in the back of that car.
That works, yeah.
That's a hillbilly hot tub.
Yeah.
I had
so-
a Barbie car like that, I
Yeah,
think.
so Donnie is in, but unfortunately, none of the other of their crew are available because they're all, again, either in prison, dead, or gone straight. There are 2 left. Sphinx and Sway. And they call Sphinx, and we get this beautiful moment. He's working in a morgue.
Okay, now
Yeah.
these
These two
two
actors-
actors are Muppets, as
One
far
of-
as I'm
no,
concerned.
one of
Oh,
them-
yeah, it was
the-
Waldorf Statler.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of
yeah.
them, the one who is sitting down, it's like, but how is he going to take a phone call? He is like that guy from
Yeah.
every movie.
Yeah.
He was, if we remember Santa with Muscles, he was the mad scientist villain in that one. It is that guy.
The one who leaves the sandwich and the corpse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were on it.
Yeah, and that's a long-standing trope where they did that
Yeah.
on Scrubs, where they show
is a
like
trope.
morticians are just comfortable with everything that they're like digging in a body and eating a sandwich at the same time.
It's also in
I love that trope.
It's
though.
also in Psych.
Yeah.
The mortician guy in Psych, he does the same
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
He's also
and they're just-
he's also very weird.
These
but-
2 other techs are arguing with each other. It's like, how's a guy who can't speak going to take a phone call? You tell him. So he's got a phone call, so he just puts the sandwich down on the corpse, walks over to the phone, just picks it
Yeah.
up, and we just hear Memphis. Sphinx?
If it's you-
Sphinx, hit a button if it's you. Burp.
There we go.
And like I said, if
Sphinx is a
anyone,
giant, brute of a man.
if anyone has ever seen the movie Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, you know that I'm talking about the character played by, his name in the movie is Big Chris.
Yeah.
He has a son in the movie whose name is Little Chris. So, it's a good movie. You should watch it. It's a good movie.
And Sway is played by Angelina Jolie.
Okay.
Who
Yeah.
makes
Angelina-
really bad decisions with her hair.
Angelina
Yeah.
Jolie with blonde dreads, so you know she makes great decisions.
Nothing wrong with dreads. Nothing wrong with dreads.
On a white girl.
Yeah.
No.
With the blondes. No.
Yeah.
Because Kaz has had dreads.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, the blonde, yeah. No.
Yeah.
It's the blonde. The blonde with the blue contacts.
And her hair wasn't. It wasn't really. It was like styled.
Yeah, it was
like twists.
Yeah, it wasn't actual dreads. It
Yeah,
was
it was
like
twist.
getting there.
It's the blonde. It's the blonde with the blue contacts that does it for me.
Yeah.
It was not a good look.
There's so much with this character that's done so goddamn wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the first thing that we thought of, and it's a few scenes ahead, and I'll get to it a little further when we get to it, but were there deleted scenes that explain some things?
What are you trying to explain?
Okay, so she doesn't want to be a part of this. Like, look, she's a mechanic. She's like, okay, hey, I've gone straight. And then
two
she
jobs
has
now.
the second job because you got to work a lot harder when you work legit.
Yeah.
Which
Gotta work twice as hard when it's
okay, like,
honest.
you know what? Fair point.
Yes.
You know, and she's a bartender, and she seems to be fairly decent with it. But she's like, you know what? I don't have anything. And later on, she's like, you know what? I'm in it. I'm in it for Kip. And I'm like,
Because
The thing is,
she
she's not.
she's-
She's not in it for Kip.
no, she's in
Yeah.
it for Randall.
She is still in love with Memphis.
But you can't. I can't really. They don't really have any chemistry.
Not really.
no,
No. I
Like
mean,
but the character is still in love with Memphis. And
it's
when it
supposed
just-
to be in love with Memphis.
Yeah.
I think the way it's supposed to be. I think there are 8 minutes of deleted scenes
yeah.
that we have not seen. It's in the trivia. I have not seen them.
Nope.
Okay.
And I think
Hopefully
the way
it explains it. Yeah.
I think the way it's supposed to be done is she thinks about it because he sits there. he leaves it as a, okay, I tried.
Yeah.
And as he walks away, she takes the shot of whiskey.
Right.
And the guy says, how about that drink? And she says, yeah, how about that drink? And she just kind of sighs and gets that little like...
Yeah.
And shortly after that, there's explosions in her parking lot, but we'll get to that.
Right. But
Yeah.
I think she thinks about it, and then she shows up. So I believe she's been in contact with at least either Otto or Donnie.
Because she knows where to go.
Because she knows where to go. So
Yeah.
so somebody
Yeah.
has been in contact with
Yeah.
her. Or she has called somebody at least. So she knows who to contact, or at least she knows how to get in touch with people.
Right.
So I believe she has at least thought about it, contacted someone, and then shows up.
Yeah. And her excuse is, I'm doing this for Kip, not for you.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a lie.
Yeah.
The most obvious excuse, I feel like it would have worked better if she was written that she just can't keep up with these two jobs anymore.
But she's not doing it for the money. She's not there for the money at all.
She's back in, ostensibly to help Kip, and again, she's got
Kip
a chance.
doesn't deserve shit.
No.
Yeah.
He's an
No, he
asshole.
doesn't.
She's doing
no
it.
reason.
She's doing it for Randall.
Yes,
Yeah.
but she
She's doing
says
it-
it's for Kip because she doesn't want to admit it out
Yeah.
loud.
Yeah.
That's the issue with the character. She doesn't want to admit why she's actually doing it. So she
All
says
of
it's
these
for
people
Kip.
are doing it, quote unquote, for Kip, but in actuality, they're doing it for Randall because they know that Randall loves Kip.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all it is.
Yeah,
They're not
which
actually
is-
doing, and
yeah.
nobody in this beyond Kip's crew is doing it for Kip. They're
Yeah.
doing it for Randall because they care about Randall
Yeah.
and they know that Randall cares about Kip.
And Kip's,
That's it.
And the thing with
Yeah.
Kip's crew, they're actually friends because we actually get a moment later where we realize that Kip, while he's kind of a douche,
Yeah.
isn't that bad of a guy because he's sticking by his friends.
Yeah.
Or at least his friends are sticking by him.
And he
Yeah.
stays with Toby.
Yeah, I
Right.
don't leave
You're
my
just
friends.
like, we need to get you out of town. He's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm going
Yeah.
with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's loyal to his crew, at least.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which was a good bone of contention between Memphis and him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like, you got up and left, I stay.
I stayed,
and
and I made my family. I have my family.
That was interesting.
That's actually a bone of contention I have with my family right
Yeah.
now, is I
Yeah.
don't deal with my own family, my own blood. Personally. This is a personal thing for me.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't personally deal with my own family. Not really.
Yeah.
I don't go to family functions. I don't deal with my own family. I have my family. You guys are my family. My friends are my family.
Yeah.
I have made my own
Yeah.
family. I deal with my own family because that's who I deal with. They are the people I chose.
Yeah.
Now we have we're Olive Garden joke.
Yeah,
So-
we're-
Damn it, I gotta eat pasta.
But
so does that
that's-
mean I'm Tumblr in this equation, that I can drive anything with wheels?
well, sort of, but you can't break into things.
No, but I can drive.
You can drive, but that's the thing is like I have my own family. I don't deal with my own family other than my brother. But
Yeah.
it's like that's how it is for me. So in a weird sort of way, I understand Kip.
Found family is family too.
I have
Yeah.
my own found family, and that's the way it is for me.
Agreed. Yeah.
So that's how that is. So in a odd way, I kind of understand Kip.
Yeah. I guess so, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah.
in a odd sort of way, I get that. Yeah,
Oh, dang.
yeah.
I have trouble focusing on the Friday night movies, but I don't know when else to eat the pizza. You gotta have the movie with the pizza.
Yeah.
But then,
I didn't have pizza. I had sandwiches.
Yeah.
because
I had a lobster roll. I don't
Yeah.
know.
We had D'Angelo's.
see, the pizza is like a reward. You work, you're tired. It's the end of the week. And then you get your pizza, and you can't just eat pizza and do nothing. So, eat
You watch
pizza
the
and
movie.
watch a movie. But then halfway, or 2/3 the way through, my brain is just
Yeah.
like,
The pizza has
You want
hit.
the
and now-
reward.
The pizza
Yeah.
has
You want
hit,
the
and now
reward
you
for
want
the
to
day. You want the reward for the end of the week.
Yeah.
which is playing video games.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I feel bad, like,
Yeah.
Because maybe you should.
Well-
maybe you should do Saturday afternoon movie.
Yeah. Well,
or half and half sometimes. 'cause
Yeah.
I can,
Yeah. We've done
then
that a couple times.
and there are
I don't know if
Yeah.
that would be bad.
There are
for
some
reviewing,
with
or-
our stuff next month. With that, I think you'll have an easier time with those movies because some of those you have seen.
Oh.
multiple times.
That and honestly, an action movie is kind of easy to shut your brain off to.
Yeah.
And then when you come back in, you're like, wait, where am I?
Of course, it's Nicolas Cage too. So it's
Right.
Sometimes there's too much
yeah.
like flashing stuff going
Yeah.
on, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just a bunch of motion to me.
It's
and I'm
understandable.
like,
Yeah.
So, yeah, when Memphis leaves the bar after talking to Sway, he gets waylaid by Johnny B.
Johnny B.
Played by Master P, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Johnny B's character is fun.
Johnny
Yeah.
B
I like
runs,
Johnny B's character.
Johnny B runs a rival crew, and he's upset that the big order of cars went to
Kip.
Randall and Kip, where in his mind it should have gone to him and his crew.
Well,
and
you
now he's
should have
gonna
taken it because then all of this would have never have happened.
And now he's gonna eliminate the competition, and he wants to beat the living crap out of Randall, and him and his boys kind of do that. They beat the crap out of him, and then all of a sudden, the music changes. We get the we get the Sphinx music.
I love Sphinx.
As Sphinx lights a Molotov fuse in the gas tank of one of their cars.
This is very difficult to do.
This would not actually happen in real life, but
No.
we're in the Bruckheimerverse, so everything is
If you want to
highly
know how to
explosive.
explode a car, I can teach you. I won't do it.
Okay.
But I can teach these two off mic. I know a way to do it.
in case you find yourself in the
If you ever
wasteland.
want to explode a
Explode.
vehicle,
Yeah.
I can teach
Explode
you.
a car.
I will teach you off
Explode,
mic.
Mama.
There is a way to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to teach
Remember-
you on mic because that could make me liable for things.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, if I ever disappear, the prime suspect is
Chino.
yes, it is Chino.
It was the shifty-eyed dog.
It was Chino the whole time.
I know way too many things.
It was me, Austin. It was me the whole time.
It's a good thing. There's a good thing that
Yeah.
my brain works in really mysterious ways.
You could write heist movies with that
Easily.
information.
Oh God, sometimes maybe.
So
Anyway,
Sphinx shows up and just beats the living crap out of everybody because he's big and scary, and he blew up 2 cars, and they're freaking out, and he saves Randall, and Randall's like, "Did Otto send you?" And Sphinx just nods, like, "Good to see you." And they
take off.
they take back off. So the next scene is basically them trying to... I think it's them getting told where to bring the cars, and that's when Sway shows up,
Yeah.
right?
I feel like she was
No,
okay
not yet.
until I realized, oh, it's
Not yet
Angelina Jolie, now she looks weird.
because Kip shows up with his crew and they get
Right.
into an argument.
They get into an argument,
Because-
and eventually Otto he breaks up the fight and just says, "Hey, look,
Oh, we
You know we
also
can't do
kind of
this
glossed
without-
over the Kip, thanking him for saving his life, but we
by
don't
making
really.
a weird hash made of I don't know."
Which would have been
Oh,
fine
God.
if he didn't dump all that salt in it.
It looked okay
God,
at first,
right?
and then all the salt went
Yeah.
in it. And I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's like, what's in it? I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh my god. It could be rat poison for all we know.
Yeah.
But it would
He's
have
like,
been
"I've
fine
got
without all
things
that
handled.
salt.
I'm fine." Your kitchen's on fire. Oh fuck!
Then he pours baking soda in it and saves the day. But that's fine.
Oh, is that how you do with a grease fire?
Yeah,
Yes,
or
you
you
could.
smother
Or you
it.
smother it.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
it's a few more moments like that might to flesh out characters.
Yeah.
Right.
Because Kip is a hot mess, and Randall's kind of got his shit together, and it's showing that kind of that dynamic.
Yeah,
between
you
the two
show
of them.
that relationship. Of course, it's a brotherly relationship, and it's. I had an incident where I had to go help my sister out,
Right.
and it was one of those like we hadn't talked in a while, and she called and said, "Help! I'm on my way.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm on my way. Drop go." Like
Absolutely.
It's a sibling relationship.
Same
Yeah,
here.
it's drop go, but it's having where you have so much going on. It's like if this movie slowed down a little bit every once in a while.
If the movie was a hair longer, get a few more scenes in there to
it would
establish
have
the
been an
connections
absolute
between
freaking
people.
classic.
Like specifically, like you were saying, we kind of need a little bit more of the history between Otto and Memphis,
Yeah,
and a bit more history between Kip and Memphis.
yeah,
It's like, I mean, we get the idea,
Yeah.
but it doesn't really.
There's enough. Here's the deal, though. No, I like the bitterness that's shown between Randall and Kip
yeah.
because of the way Giovanni Ribisi acts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
His acting between the two of them,
Yeah.
it really comes, his anger towards Randall comes out really well. Because Giovanni Ribisi is a good actor.
He's very good and as well, but if you could have shown a younger Giovanni Ribisi when you see Memphis leaving and he has no idea why.
Right. If they had shown a little bit of that.
All you gotta do is a silent scene, 30 seconds.
Well, if
Yeah.
now here's the deal. I don't know if you
It's a
noticed
single
this.
scene and it's done in
Now,
60 seconds.
well, here's the deal. I don't know if you noticed this.
Yeah.
At the very beginning of the movie. Now, because I've seen this movie 87,000 times.
Yeah.
Did you see the pictures in the opening theme?
Yes, I did.
Bring
Yeah.
Sally up,
Yeah.
bring Sally down. And it's
All
just,
okay.
it's
There's a string of pictures that show. Now, granted, this is early Photoshop, but it's pictures of young Nicolas Cage, young Giovanni Ribisi, and the
their
woman
mom.
who plays the mom.
like the first
Yeah.
couple of pictures, their dad's there.
Their
and then
dad's there, and then
no
the dad
longer-
dies, and
Yeah.
it's them as a happy family, and then it's them as not so much a happy family.
And the pictures are starting to get a little more like
It
conflicting's
does-
not
it-
the word.
It
but
does show, it
Yeah,
does
they get-
show differences where Randall's not there, and so it does show a break in the family in the pictures.
I forgot about the
Yeah.
pictures.
So it does show a little bit of the backstory, not a lot, but it does show a little bit of the dynamic in the beginning of the movie. And I think they tried to at least show a little bit of it. Now, again, I've seen the movie 87,000 times, so
But if you haven't, then
if you haven't,
don't know
you're
if
not
there's
gonna
any-
you're not
you
gonna
don't
watch it, and
pick
you're
it
not
up,
really gonna
yeah.
pick it
you
up.
don't know if it's just filler.
Right.
Yeah.
And I do
Yeah.
actually,
Watching credits.
like I said, it's early Photoshop too, so you're not really paying attention to it because they use a lot of early Nicolas Cage, like him as a young man.
Right.
So, and a young Giovanni Ribisi. So it's like him as a young kid, like as a
Yeah.
little kid in these. So they spliced a lot of stuff together. But it's pretty well done, actually, when you're trying to use the actors
and the
as
stuff
themselves
and
in
the
these
stuff
pictures.
and the stuff in the backgrounds of each of these around the pictures tell the story because it's going from like baseball trophies and like tools to fix cars and like concert tickets, and eventually it's showing like stolen keys
Yeah.
and lockpick sets, and it's
But
just
spread this out.
Right.
Yes.
No, I
You know,
agree with you.
Yeah, where you're
So you
seeing
know
this.
that,
Yeah.
this I should remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
spread-
not.
Yeah.
My brain's warmed up.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
I'm not fighting you either.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's
I'm
spread
saying
this
that
out
there
a
is
bit.
there is a little
Yeah.
bit of backstory at the very
Yeah.
beginning of the movie that they tried to show.
Yeah.
They're trying to just
But-
shoehorn too much information in not enough time.
But where you look at like 22 years later,
Right.
where a lot of this, you can play back, look
Right.
at it, slow it down, and you go from basic 2D, to we're kind of on the edge of almost where the like theaters had the whole 3D craze.
Right.
But then you have this. Most people are still like digging in their popcorn, digging for snacks, or getting comfortable,
Yep.
and they're not totally paying attention to this. So this is easily missed.
They could have. They could have
This is so
added.
easily missed there.
They
though.
could have added an additional 20 minutes into this movie and
Yeah.
added in some more character background.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Easy.
and it
Yeah.
wouldn't have felt too long either.
No.
Like, some of the
No.
movies we've seen, it's just like we could have chopped a good chunk off of this one.
Yeah.
This one, whatever chunk we cut off another movie, we could put glue onto this one, and it would have
Yeah.
been just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, on a Friday night, though, movies feel longer sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's something
Depending on
you're
how the
like
day went, yeah.
really into.
Yeah. Depending on the day when, and I do understand this one was kind of a little harder, and I know we're diverting a little bit, but it was a little harder to be able to get into with this, because it's a different style movie, but I also had this thing where I had to get into work early, and then one of my employees got really sick, and I had to send her home, so I had to stay later. So it ended up being, it was a 5-hour day, turned into a 10-hour day in an instant.
Good job.
And, it's...
I understand
Yeah.
because I work 10-hour days every day.
Yeah, and you're looking at
So-
it like, but
That'll-
expecting, you're like, okay, you're mentally set up to work 5 hours, and now your shift is automatically doubled.
Yep.
Yeah. Stuff like that'll happen to me. It's not quite doubling of the shift, but it's just like, I think I'm going home at 4:30. Dan, we need you to stay till 6. God damn it.
Yeah.
Tell me this before I clock out.
Right. Or you're just...
It's like, I'm okay with... I'm going to be a team player. I'm okay with staying, but tell me before I clock out. I thought I was going home, man.
Right. Or you're just about to punch out and they tell you, you're like, or even old-style time clock like I did when I used to work fast food.
We have a time clock in my office.
Oh, you do?
Yep.
With paper slips?
Yeah.
We have slide cards, but...
Yeah. But you're just about ready to punch that time card.
Like,
it's like...
I'm going to swipe. Up. No. I'm gonna swipe it. Nope. I'm off the clock. Go away.
Damn, man. Damn.
I don't know
But,
what that is. I work 10-hour days every day.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Sorry, guys.
No.
So we get introduced to the rest of Kip's party.
Yeah.
Or party. Can you tell we played D&D recently? we get introduced to the rest of Kip's crew. We meet Mirror Man, who is big into electronics. He knows all the
he knows gadgets.
He knows
He's
gadgets and
man.
electronic gizmos and doodads and what's-its. We meet Tumblr. Who's the big kind of boxer-looking dude who can drive anything with cars, anything with wheels, and probably a few things without wheels. We meet Toby, who can do some really crazy shit with computers. And then we meet Freb, who can order pizza like nobody's business.
With the special line, hey, people gotta eat, right?
Now, Freb is just kind of a hanger-on with the rest of them.
He's their friend.
Yeah.
They were buddies through high school, and Freb just never really got any of the special skills that it takes to be a car boost, but his friends were, so he just kind of tagged along. The reason they call him Freb is because this was in the novelization. At one point, he got so goddamn stoned he couldn't write out his own name properly, and he misspelled his name Fred as Freb with a B at the end. So he forever became Freb.
Nice.
That's something I would do.
Yeah. He was so baked he couldn't even spell his name right.
Yep, that is definitely something I would do. Yep.
So, we get introduced to them, and each of the new crew kind of like teams up with a member of the older crew, and they start casing all of LA to find these 50 cars. According to the list, Otto says, most of them aren't going to be a problem, so we don't worry about half the list.
But
The rare ones are going to be
the ones they
hard
need
to
to
find.
focus on.
like the 57 Chevy and the GT, the Shelby GT 500
And the Mercedes.
and the Mercedes, which need these newfangled laser cut transponder keys.
Oh, these keys. These fucking keys, man. Now, these keys are, nowadays, they're expensive to make. They cost to make. Now, granted, I know key people, but they usually cost about $200 to $300 to cut nowadays.
Yeah. And the funny thing, as far as transponder keys
they
go,
don't cost me that much, but they cost other people that much.
as far as transponder keys go, I have one.
You do.
I have a keyless start in my car, so if I don't have the key with me, the car's just like, no. No.
Yep.
I also discovered that there's actually a key inside.
There is a key in the
fob.
non-key.
Just like I've been lied to. There is in fact a key in here. But
That's in case the key dies.
which happened, and I was standing outside my car looking at it, going, "Well, shit, how do I get to work now?"
There is a key in your keyless car, just so you know.
If you have a keyless entry car and your key fob dies, if you could still get in the car, push the the start button with the key fob. Through some kind of witchcraft or black magic, that works.
Yes,
Don't
it
ask
does.
me how, it
Yes,
just does.
It does. It does, yes. Just so you know.
So yeah, they kind of team up, and they're we know that Sway is kind of a specialist when it comes to Ferraris. So they they go out Randall goes out and poses as like a hoity-toity rich guy at the dealership for Ferraris. I was like, this one. I saw 3 of these parked outside the
local
Starbucks this very morning, and I don't want to be looked like as a self-indulgent wiener.
No, that is not what he says, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Nicolas Cage at this moment.
Mm-hmm. Because he's going full snake oil
But
salesman.
he's not acting.
No.
No, that's just him.
It's just...
They just let him off his meds for a
Yeah,
shot.
I just... Okay, okay, I want you to read this. Like, there's a guy with the cue card.
Yeah.
Right there, just like the
Everybody in this
Jerry
town has too much bloody money.
Yeah. And Jerry Bruckheimer just like, go. Yeah, and just go.
So he finds out that, we don't have one of the... He names this huge, basically in a Starbucks coffee order of a car that I cannot remember off the top of my head. It's like, well, we don't have one here, sir. But we may have one at the warehouse. He's like, excellent.
What else do you have in the warehouse?
What else do you have in the warehouse?
Yeah.
And we find out the warehouse is, obviously has at least 3 of the cars that they need. So that was like the first place they hit.
Also, I love how these cars are all in order.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So they can just drive them out in line.
Because you got to imagine, in reality, that would be just a clusterfuck.
Logistical nightmare.
Yeah.
Because if you've ever had to move all of these cars into a pen...
And you've got 3 people...
Yeah.
It's like, oh, fuck.
Which I don't know if anybody else has, because I know none of you else... maybe Nick might have had to do this, because you may have gone to work with your dad at once. But if anybody else has ever had to move cars into a pen, it's a fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I've had to snow park a few mail trucks, but I don't know if that's technically the same thing.
No, it's not.
I had the opposite of that, where I had to interview car salesmen for a sales class that I had. And my dad was still good with his old boss at the time, so he's like, oh no, call JJ, I'm like, and then just explain what's going on. I'll talk to him, maybe we can get you in there. And I left my car, it was a Volkswagen dealership. And I left my car in the back, not realizing it was the pen area.
Oh, no.
And they were shifting the cars around, so there's like $2 million worth of merchandise in front of me.
Oh, no.
And I had to leave and get to class. So I'm like, I gotta go. And then I had to maneuver my Saturn around all this merchandise and not hit anything. It took almost an hour to get out.
Oh, God.
Like, just inching and doing that. Finally, I got out of it. And the guy I was talking to was a guy named Randy, and he saw me, and he's like, yeah, we were watching you do that. Did you need any help?
That would have been nice back then, buddy.
Yeah, I'm like, y'all have keys in there. You could have moved a few out. I could have gone straight out, but I had to basically play like Snake on the old phone.
Oh, Jesus.
Just maneuver around and not touch the cars or not touch my own car, but, just to maneuver around.
I can just see that. Just head out the window. No.
Yeah.
No.
Like,
okay, I'm clear.
Easing, and I'm like, okay, and I just it was really nerve-wracking. I made it to class on time, though, I remember that. But it was just really, I floored it down to Dartmouth at that point. But, the far-off land of Dartmouth.
Yes.
I was there this afternoon.
Where I work.
Yeah.
Where I work.
I had Korean food too.
And actually, I wasn't far away from where you work either.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So,
basically right behind you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're casing all the cars. They figure out where they need to go for all of this, and they while they're doing their kind of montage of finding all the cars, we go back to Castlebeck and his little manservant, I guess, because I cannot remember his name. And they find out the Mercedes with the fancy laser cut transponder keys all came from one dealership, and where everybody is they come from one dealership in L.A. And the keys come from Hamburg, Germany. And all of the employees are clean except for him, and it's just a guy that served like a dime up in San Quentin.
Cool.
So whatever, for car insurance fraud. At which point she yelled,
like, how do you do car insurance fraud? Are
what's
you
the
writing
point?
checks to yourself? Are you stupid? That's what I started saying, because I'm like, you get caught easily, you moron.
Yeah.
Anyway, this guy is the one who takes care of all the order forms for new keys, and Tumblr has been talking to this dude, and he's how he got the original 3 keys to steal the original 3 cars. Tumblr ends up going back to this guy for the same thing, but Castlebeck and his boy toy got to him first, and he gives them a call when Tumblr comes back to pick up the keys. This is how we're going to get connected back to this whole thing. So Castlebeck and the police kind of set up surveillance on the 3 Mercedes.
Which is... This plan is stupid.
The plan would be fine if they didn't move.
I still want to know how they got permission to stay in these people's driveways.
Right.
Because, I'm sorry, if this was my driveway, and you're parked in it, you better get fucking permission.
Well, they may have had permission for the first place, and then they had to move, and that's what set them off.
I know,
anyway.
but still, because if you're parked in my driveway, and you just moved and put your fucking van in my driveway, and you didn't ask me, get the fuck out of my driveway.
So they're doing this whole thing, and the last car that they scope out is the 67 Shelby GT 500. Absolutely drop-dead gorgeous car that they call Eleanor. And we find out that Memphis has had a history with this car. Not this specific car, but this brand of car. It's the kind of car that no matter how many times you try to steal it, something always goes wrong. They call it a unicorn. It's a mythological creature impossible to capture.
I thought it was the same car.
No.
No, it's not
It's the same make and model. It's the same kind of car, but it's not the exact same car. And we find out that he's always had trouble with. He flipped one on the expressway, drove off the Santa Monica Pier, another. Like every time he tries to steal one, it just never works.
Yeah.
And he's straight up afraid of it, so he leaves it for the last. So the night of the actual boost comes. Before that happens, like the afternoon of, Freb, in an attempt to try to prove his worth to the crew, boosts a car. Comes back to the shop with a 1983 Cadillac Eldorado that he found in Chinatown out in front of a gambling parlor with the keys left in it. And they're like, what are you doing, you moron? This isn't on the list. They find tons of, maybe not tons, but a lot of heroin in the trunk. And they realized that the reason this car was sitting out with the keys in the ignition...
Because no one was stupid enough to steal this fucking car. No one in that neighborhood is dumb enough to steal that car. And of course, perfect timing is when Castlebeck shows up to Otto's to try to screw with people. And they're trying to hide the heroin from the car. There's this whole kind of long, just like everyone's standing around. No, everything's fine, officer. This is all great. And he's making fun of the car. Ultimately... They think they got away scot-free, but one of them left out a paper that has all the call signs for the police units that are on for that night. So Castlebeck knows that everything's going to be happening that night, and of course it's on. They're going for basically a 12-hour boost. So they start at 8 p.m. and that's when they take the Ferraris. Yep. And so this must be sometime in the fall or early winter because it's dark at 8 o'clock.
Right, so. Yeah. And they do have a smart thing where they try to say, okay, we're going to do this in one day because by the time the first car is stolen, most of them are already gone.
They're already on the ship and they're gone.
Yeah.
If you play mind games, then you got to go back and forth and yeah.
Which was good.
Yep. So yeah, I mean... It starts with the Ferraris. And then, it kind of goes from there. Chaos ensues.
Yeah.
Let's see. It starts with the Ferraris. And then what happens after that? I'm trying to remember the order of things. It happens all pretty fast.
And for a movie that is pretty fast, I think there's the interesting thing is when they all start getting cars slowing down. Yes. Like when Chi McBride realizes they realize the cops are watching, and it's like they're trying to heist one out of a driveway.
Yes,
and then Chi McBride's trying to get one off, boost a car right in front of a casino.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So they go for the Mercedes.
Yeah.
And Randall goes for the Mercedes. He goes to they're doing the stakeout on the Mercedes. Castlebeck and the boy and everybody, they're doing the stakeout, and one of the soccer moms from that neighborhood comes home and blocks their view from the Mercedes. So they have to move their stakeout van. So they move it to the house closer. And that's their mistake. Because as soon as Randall shows up, he's getting dropped off by Sway. He notices, like, he goes to put the key into the vehicle. Like, he's putting it into the lock. He looks up, he sees the minivan, and he notices that it's in the wrong spot. Like, it just, I guess it feels wrong. He just gets it, looks up, notices, pulls out the picture that he took the night before, realizes that it's in the wrong spot, calls up his friend, and he's like, hey, ladies are dirty, basically. Where are you? Don't do it. Ladies are dirty. Back off. Let's regroup.
And with Chad McBride, though, coming back and saying, I think I got it. My wife's this ain't even my car. My wife's having a baby.
It's really funny. Like, that entire scene is just like, oh, she's having the baby right now? Oh my god, oh god, this is my car, oh my god. Like, and they all regroup back at Otto's. And he's like, that's where the fight ensues. Like, where'd you get these keys? And that's when they realize, like, your guy, he's, Castlebeck got to him. Obviously, Castlebeck got to him. You've got, what are we gonna do now? Like, that Calitri's not gonna say, he's not gonna be okay with 3 missing cars. 47's not 50.
Right.
What are we gonna do? And they're like, well, we still have the 3 keys from the original boost, but those cars are an impound.
What are we gonna do? Go break into the police impound? Yes.
And they're like, we can't go break into the police impound. And he's like, that's exactly what we're going to do. And they're like, what? He's like, nope, that's what we're going to do. And that's what they decide to do.
No, the stereotypes too, though. Where you have the pimp come up saying, hey, every time I come by, they
every time I drive my Volvo,
downtown, they tow the shit.
They tow the shit. And I'm sorry, that part was kind of funny, though.
No, it was funny. It was just like...
look, she's a brick. House. And the guy behind the...
That was so random. Where did you get a doll from?
Where did you get the Barbie? Who knows?
Yeah. And the guy in the behind the thing is just like, oh, great, another crackhead.
Yeah.
Who is that guy, anyway?
That's the guy who's running the police impound.
He's the lot attendant for the police impound.
The pimp guy.
That was Mirror Man.
That's Mirror Man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was somebody in disguise.
I mean, technically he's in disguise, yeah.
Well, I just imagine that he has this all set aside, and he's just like, okay.
It's a persona he has to play.
It's just the persona that has to happen.
Yeah.
Here's the pimp who has the doll, and the doll is possessed.
And when that whole thing came up, that the character, Mirror Man's just like, finally.
Yeah. I get to do it again? Okay, that's where I would want 2 minutes of prep. Yeah. Where he goes back into the trunk and takes the...
It just takes it out.
Takes the hat, just finally.
Yeah, but he takes a special box out which has the doll in there.
Yep.
just brushes the hair out. Just okay, hat on, and then wait, actually, that for a minute, I got an idea.
It's like you and me, Della. We're gonna go.
Yeah, I got an idea. I was thinking
He goes into his costume box.
I love that idea.
I had this before.
Yes, finally.
Oh shit! I can't find the damn song, but it was
Oh yes, I like the same.
Oh, okay. Wait, okay. Wait. So so imagine he's walking up and you just hear Ice Cube roll all day. And he's just ready to go and he's very, very happy. He's just like, okay, here we go. Finds this, says, okay, fine, let's do this. Popping the hood, puts the hat on while this is playing, gets the little doll, just there it says, let's go.
Let's go.
Ready. Let's do it.
The Randall's like, let's roll.
Yeah, let's go.
So yeah, through all of this, we get all kinds
Oh, I
of.
know. I like the whole when he gets paged too.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a midget paging me. I
gotta go.
I gotta go. Bye. And the guy's like, but wait.
And then in the meantime, they're all wearing like these masks
It's like
as they're breaking into the impound.
What is the deal with a clear plastic mask?
So they don't show because they're being recorded.
Yeah,
They're on
there's
camera.
cameras in the impound
Why
lot.
not
so-
a opaque mask?
Because that's what they had on hand.
Yeah, the clear plastic.
That's all in the costume box.
Right. Yeah.
The clear plastic one will obscure your face enough that it's going to be hard to tell on a camera, like who the person is.
Because I saw that in a TV show once, and I was like, "What the fuck is the point of that?"
It's what he had in the costume box. That's in my head canon.
Actually,
That's
I
what they
looked
had
this
in the
up a little bit.
costume box.
We go to Mirror Man's
Yeah.
apartment, and he's just got like the biggest room in his house is the walk-in closet with all the costumes.
It's like the teen in Community.
I hope this
I
doesn't
get
awaken
to-
anything in me.
Oh,
I
remember,
gotta deliver a message to the study group. What am I gonna wear?
he's got. Remember, this is the same guy who has all those different fingerprints
Yeah.
on hand.
Right.
So
That was a cool idea.
yeah.
Elvis is back, baby.
Yeah.
I do like the line. It's not donut jelly, so don't eat it. And I love how like Mirror Man and Sphinx kind of became. I don't want to say buddies, but they were like
They're like
it's
a tag team,
because Mirror Man never fucking shuts up.
and Sphinx doesn't talk.
And it's like, man, I will kick you, and he just holds the knife up to him. It's like, man, you ain't gonna take shit so personal. Like they became buddies.
Snake!
Yeah.
Picture.
Yeah, brother got snake on the license plate. What is this? So yeah, they go through. There's a whole
That's
series.
in my butt.
Yeah, this snake's going up my ass, man. It's like it's a constrictor. You'll be fine.
It's gonna eat my shithole. That I lost it.
So there's this. Yeah, they're trying to get out of the
later,
parking.
though.
They're trying to get out of the parking garage, and there's an actual fucking anaconda in this goddamn Humvee.
Yeah.
But yeah, we get basically another big montage of them actually stealing the cars. We'll see like Memphis at one point he finds a car with the
the steering wheel with the club.
the club across the steering wheel. So he just takes the steering wheel off and replaces it with a different one instead of having to get rid of the actual club because that thing's actually hard to cut through.
Yeah.
It's actually a decent anti-theft method.
Yeah.
Unless you brought another steering wheel with you.
I wanted to show this to my dad and just see like
Some of this would
what
probably
you
be
think?
BS.
Yeah.
Well, it's from 2000, so you
Yeah.
got to remember this is 22 years old.
Yeah.
Things have changed.
And there's also a 1974 version of this that he
Right.
probably saw.
Probably.
You know, and he'll probably pick it apart the entire time.
Yeah, so they're out there just stealing all the cars, and they're bringing them in. You see like the fancy like like Lamborghinis coming in.
Yeah.
You get that beautiful big pink 57 Chevy,
The Bel Air.
the Bel Air. Yes, it's so beautiful.
Oh yeah.
And we see that Castlebeck and the cops are watching the Mercedes, and they managed to get.
I've already passed this.
You already So they found out the cars are dirty, so they're all pissed off trying to figure out what's going on. They get the information back about the light,
About the black light.
the black light, and they go back to the original place where Kip and his crew
Where they
were.
ask, I love how he says the line is, do you remember the 70s? And he's like, too young, thank God.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, I wasn't born.
Yeah. So they're in there with black lights, and they find the list. And they're like, that is a big list. And they're just looking over this list, like, let's focus on the most rare ones, da-da-da-da-da, and then this one. We're going to watch this one. And he points to the Shelby GT. Because he knows. He knows Randall, and he knows his issues with Eleanor. It's like, he'll leave this one for last because he's afraid of it.
Yeah. Now, there's the scene as well with Angelina Jolie and Nick Cage watching. And
While they're waiting for the couple.
Yeah,
Good
just waiting
place.
for them to shut the light off.
Yeah.
And looking, and I'm like, okay, and then they start making out, or start getting a little further into it, and it's not an age thing, folks, at all, but then I just did a math in my head of how young Angelina Jolie is and how older Nicolas Cage is.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm like, ooh, not quite right, but then the euphemisms for everything is hilarious.
The gear shifters and the differential and
Yeah.
good brakes.
Yeah. You need good brakes.
I still use the line "good breaks." I use the line "good breaks" a lot. It's really funny. It is. It's to this day I will still use the line "good breaks," even when I stop short. In my own car, I'll be like, "Good brakes, good brakes." Yeah,
That's great.
yeah. It's actually really funny. In fact, I guarantee you, when you stop short the next time, you'll be like, "Good brakes,
Yeah.
good brakes."
Yeah,
Yeah.
See, there's a lot of lines from this movie that are just permanently a part of my vocabulary. Like the "I can drive anything with wheels and a few things without." That sticks with me, and I've actually like I
You
drive.
have a cheese wheel though.
I could figure it out.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a. Isn't it in like?
It's in England. It's
in England.
It's a
Don't you-
ridiculous competition where you chase a cheese wheel down a
cheese wheel
basically
down-
vertical hill.
Down a hill, and either you win or the cheese does, and it doesn't matter
The
who
cheese
wins.
the cheese always wins, but
The cheese.
the
I
actual,
saw
stands
this. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It doesn't really matter who wins. You're not even sure if you're supposed to beat it. It doesn't matter.
It's the bystanders that win because they get to watch a bunch of idiots fling themselves down a
It's
nearly vertical hill.
amazing.
Wait, do you get the cheese if you catch it?
doesn't matter.
I don't know.
It
It's just
really
a bunch
doesn't
of
matter.
It's a bunch of Brits flinging themselves bodily down a hill.
It's hysterical to watch.
Okay.
It's worth it. I'm not sure what the festival is supposed to mean, and I don't think they do either. And it doesn't
I
matter.
think it's in Leicester.
It's the one that's based off the cheese name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will look up some YouTube videos of it later.
Cheese
Just
that
watch
you
it.
use when you make French onion soup.
It's just like watching dozens Gruyere.
Yeah.
You're supposed to use
Oh
Gruyere.
wait, you're supposed to use Gruyere.
But
No,
we
it's
use
the other
we
one.
use the Italian blend. We use like
It's-
mozzarella and
It's
stuff.
delicious. Doesn't
Anyway,
matter. It's
But yeah,
tasty.
the video of this is literally just a bunch of people
Yeah.
doing a run down a hill,
Yeah.
and for the first few steps, they're in control.
And then you
they
lose
have that whole when you're running too fast and your legs can't keep up thing.
Oh, you fall.
And they're just doing that thing for like the first
seen
third
this,
of the
yeah.
hill, they're in
Yeah.
control.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
second third, they are losing control, and the bottom third, they're just.
It's great fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
The part I saw with that is you see the third, and you could see the website I saw slowed it down.
yeah.
And you could see the looks on their faces as they're contemplating life of how they got here.
How did you
It's
get
like,
here?
I have made a mistake.
Yeah. You may have wondered how I got here.
It's like record
I'm
scratch.
also wondering
Yeah,
how I got here.
that's me.
Yeah.
You might be wondering how I got in this situation.
Oh my God.
Turns out I make terrible life decisions. And it kicks back up and
It's fantastic. Everyone should watch it.
I will have another one I'll show you later. Yeah, it's we're at the part where it's like he's got number 50 now.
they've got nearly all the cars. They're down to the last two. The last two is the Cadillac Escalade and Eleanor.
Yeah.
Now we have an issue with the Escalade because when they go to steal this one, because this is the
They're
car.
in suburbia fucking hell is
Yeah,
where they
this is
are.
the car that they did like the used the gizmos to find out the frequency to open the garage door and turn off the alarms and all that.
They go to get it. They go with Toby has been told
To stay behind.
to stay
this
behind
is not
because
for
he
you
is
to do.
not a car boost.
Yeah.
He is a computer expert.
But
His
he-
job is to change VIN numbers,
Yeah.
to break into the registry,
Yeah.
to do all the computer stuff.
His job
He
is the
not,
prep work.
He's not a car boost. He does not go out on jobs and steal cars.
He's the one that walks the dog and waits for him to poop.
Oh yeah.
Yes, his job is not
Doggy.
to
He's
steal the car.
he's
Yes.
prep man, but during the actual boost that night, he wants to be involved. He wants to help. So he stows away in the back of the van that's dropping them off to steal the Escalade, and it's Kip and Tumbler are going to steal the Escalade, and Toby comes with him. I'm like, you son of! I should leave you here, but just come on, let's go. They go to steal the Escalade,
and
but there's a party
party.
happening in the backyard. And while Toby's kind of looking out there, one of the
Partygoers.
partygoers comes over, sees him. They kind of stare at each other for a second because neither of them knows what the fuck to do.
And
Yeah.
she doesn't recognize him.
No,
Yeah.
obviously.
He's young, and here's the deal. She's young, he's young.
Yeah.
He's not a part of the party. she obviously doesn't know him.
Yeah.
So,
They
and
figure
then
out-
she looks over and sees that the other two are breaking into the car.
Yeah.
So she goes, call the police, and they, jump back in the car and they take off and they're trying to escape.
The problem is, Tumblr, while being able to drive anything with wheels, is a lot like me and has no sense of direction.
And to his credit, Suburbia Hell does all look the same. And it's nighttime. It's not an area he's familiar with, so he's lost.
And this is 2000. There's no such thing as GPS in phones.
Yeah, they didn't bother. They didn't get the MapQuest. So,
Right.
Remember
Yeah,
MapQuest?
Yeah, the printed directions that started at 5 in reality.
Yep.
Number 1, turn out your driveway. No shit.
Yeah.
And the printed directions that would make sure your path brought you by their sponsors. So everywhere you went, you made sure you passed by every goddamn Walmart you could possibly pass by.
Right.
It would take you out of your way to bring you past a mall.
True.
God.
Oh god, yeah, you're right.
I remember telling a bunch of people, at the job where we met, I was telling people, it was just like, I can use MapQuest. I'm like, don't do that. Go to randmcnally.com, find them through there, because MapQuest will get you lost.
Yeah.
But now we have GPS and everything, so we're fine. So they're trying to escape. They haven't not escape, but they're trying to just get out of Suburbia, and they get, spotted by the rent-a-cops in the area. And this
Rent-a-cops with guns.
And this is finally when LA cops start acting like LA cops, and they just open fire on people.
Because we actually skipped a scene, okay? Because there is a point where Memphis and Kip are in the car together. They had boosted a car together. They were on their way back.
Yes, the other Johnny B.
And there is another Johnny B scene. Johnny B comes up behind them. I'm going to rewind a little bit because this scene is slightly important.
I think it's like they've gotten the last of their cars and they have a little bit of time. So
Yeah.
hey, you want to go get something to eat?
They got a little bit of time, so they're going to go get something to eat, yes. And Memphis wants like a chocolate malt. And this is actually this is before the boost altogether. This is the night before the boost.
Right, yes.
And Johnny B tails them going home and basically starts shooting up their car.
They have this long kind of like escape through
people's
backyards,
yards.
like urban backyards, and that poor chicken just got fucking exploded. One guy with a shotgun blasted it. You just hear and just feathers.
And they fall into a dog cage with Beast as
It's a little puppy.
the adorable Doberman puppy,
And then you see Doberman Mommy, who is slightly less adorable.
and bites Kip.
Yep.
But
they managed to,
this is actually my favorite scene in the movie, which is why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, they managed to mostly get away from Johnny B and his boys. They get out into like a main street, and they nearly
into a
get
diner.
Yeah, they nearly get hit by Johnny B in the driveway or in the parking lot of this diner. They just kind of nonchalantly walk in. Johnny's all angry because they're like, "What, you think this is some kind of game?" And they realize there's cops in this diner. So they I got nothing but time, baby, and they just park and they wait. Meanwhile, Kip ends up going out and securing a tow line from a big semi-truck that's in the parking lot.
A wrecker.
The big rig wrecker is what it's called. And it attaches that tow line to the transmission.
to the frame.
To the frame and transmission of Johnny B's car. Now Johnny is busy. Johnny and his boys are busy watching Memphis in the thing, so they don't see Kip do this. And
And Memphis is busy talking to the driver of the wrecker
to buy Kip some time. And eventually the guy leaves, and Nicolas Cage is just standing in the window looking at Johnny with a cup of coffee. He's just like, yeah. And bottoms up. And all pissed off. And like the wrecker takes off and just rips the
whole front end.
The entire front end of Johnny's car just gets ripped right the fuck off. The cops come outside.
Because there's this huge accident.
And they catch all these guys in the car with shotguns and Uzis and MP5s. And I'm like, this isn't accurate. If this was the LA police, they would have just shot the car full of holes. They wouldn't have bothered to be like, oh, gentlemen, are these weapons? No.
No, you would have saw a bunch of black guys with weapons in their hands and you would have opened fire.
You would have seen a bunch of black guys full stop and open fire.
Yeah.
But anyway, ACAB motherfuckers. So that's Johnny out of the equation, thankfully, so he doesn't cause a problem on the night of the boost. So back to trying to get out of suburbia hell. They run across the rent-a-cops who call the real cops, and they open fire on the truck, and Toby gets hit. Toby's in the back seat, and he's trying to like help or whatever, and he gets caught. He gets shot in the shoulder, and Kip freaks out. He's like, he's been shot. We got to go to a hospital. Like they ask questions at hospitals. Kip, it's like we got to do something. We got to do something. So they bring him to the docks where they're dropping off all the cars. Atlee knows a kind of back alley doctor, private doctor that'll take care of him, et cetera, and now it's just one car left. They got to go for Eleanor. They've got, 2 hours?
They've got 2 hours till the deadline, and Memphis is the one who's going to go get Eleanor. Now, here's another gripe I have with this movie. This entire time, for the past however long they've been waiting for this Cadillac Escalade, why hasn't Memphis gone to go get Eleanor? He's been waiting for Kip to get back with this Escalade.
Which, he wants to make sure his brother's okay.
Which is fine, but he should have gone out and got Eleanor while Kip was out.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, he stood there waiting for him to get back. While Kip was out, he should have gone out and gotten Eleanor. He shouldn't have waited. He should have gone out.
Because if he'd gone out and gotten Eleanor, he could have kind of casually driven everything back. Because the only reason things go crazy is because he runs into Castlebeck just as he's leaving with the car.
Yes.
Right.
If he'd gone earlier, it would have been easy. But then we wouldn't have the last, quarter of the movie.
And he wouldn't have been 12 minutes late.
And we wouldn't have the Go Baby Go button.
Yeah. Right. But that was my gripe with this. Is like he was waiting for his brother to get back, which I understand. He was worried about his brother. His brother was late. I understand he was worried that this part was going wrong. But he should have been out going to get Eleanor when there was only one car left. And another gripe I have is, why did he have to be the one to go get Eleanor?
If he's got that's pride.
It's a pride thing. Yeah. I get that. But he didn't have to be the one to go get her.
Donnie could have got in. It probably would have been fine. Oh, my favorite moment in the movie, I think we may have skipped it, is when Donnie and Freb...
yes.
They're together, they're stealing a car, and he explains how he's like Robin Hood, I steal from the rich and give to the needy.
Yeah.
And as they're driving out, the guy comes up.
Funny.
The guy comes up, get out of the car! Get out of the car! He's like, oh, you've got to be... And he punches the guy, grabs the gun, punches the guy in the face, opens the door into him, gets out, starts kicking him. Just like, anyone can pull a gun on somebody. You don't know the first thing about stealing a car. Boy, you need a role model.
Yeah, that was good.
I love that moment. Donnie is my favorite character in this entire thing. Donnie and Sphinx is a very close second. So,
give to the rich, give to the needy. I thought it was give to the poor. No, needy.
Because, brother, we need this car. So Memphis takes Eleanor, pulls out of this parking garage area, immediately sees Castlebeck. The chase is on. I'm not going to go scene by scene, moment by moment for this chase scene. Watch it. Watch this movie. It is great. Yeah. And was it free on Amazon Prime?
No, we paid for it, but apparently I have paid for this movie multiple times because this was not the first time I have rented this movie. Apparently,
it's just watch this movie. Whether you love Nicolas Cage or not, it's just a fun movie, and this chase scene is great, especially when Eleanor starts arguing with him.
And there's when he turns and starts going backwards,
Yeah.
and then he sees the other car, but
Yeah.
when he sees the other car, it just kind of turns, hey.
Is the little kid.
Yeah, hey, the little kid was, hey. Now, we had this at the facility I was working at. We had the patients, and I'm watching it with this gentleman, Victor.
Mm-hmm.
And Victor was really kind of fun, to hang around with. He unfortunately had a lot of issues and needed almost 24-hour, help.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
With a lot of things, but every once in a while he'd spark up, he'd say something hilarious, and the whole room would start laughing.
Car!
So we had we had one of those, kind of like the chair I'm sitting in. It's not like an office chair, but one of those swivel reclining chairs.
Yep.
So I'm sitting next to him watching, and I was preparing his lunch. We're watching the movie. This scene happens where he's, Nicolas Cage is going backwards. He waves at the kid. Victor turns around in his chair and just turns around and looks, waits for me to get eye contact, goes, hi. And I'm like, man, alright, dude, I got you.
And then you just lose it at that point. It's like,
We're
damn
all
it,
just
Victor.
kind of silly giggling, just like, okay, cool. He just turns back and he goes, once in himself, he goes, Nick Cage? I'm like, go, bro. Okay, I got you.
Damn it, Victor, you got me.
Yeah.
This crazy chase scene ends with the moment that we all have when we see a car getting towed on the side of the road by one of those flatbed tow trucks.
When the flatbed is
Flatbed is angled and down. It's just like, you have that one moment where that voice in the back of your head says, just floor it, man. You got this. Just go.
You'll be fine.
There is hopefully I could find this on YouTube, but it reminded me of a commercial I saw years ago, and I only saw it once, and it was a husband and wife driving, and you had like a Kyle Gass type, from,
Tenacious D.
Yeah, there's people who don't know what it is. It's the guy who's not Jack Black in Tenacious D.
It's me and KG.
Yeah, and, and they're at a, They're on a bridge. The bridge draws going up, and obviously waiting for a moment. And he puts on this really rockin' metal music, and it's just like, oh, okay, everything's great. He's really just psyching himself up. Everything's awesome, and he's like, okay. And he shifts over to the gas. He's about ready to do it, and the wife just hits the button and turns on the classical music. And
it's like that. It's like that moment at the beginning of Blues Brothers.
Yeah, right.
Like, is this car going to do it?
Yeah. Right.
Blows over the bridge.
And you do that moment, you're like, ooh, and it obviously kills everything, but it's a commercial for driving gloves. And it just totally, I saw it once, I laughed like hell, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I think about that commercial every time I see something like that.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it now, because I know you're talking about the scene when he floors it, right?
Yes.
When he floors it, and now, this scene, you can definitely see the bit of, like, computer trickery that they use as the car is flying.
Oh, that was...
There's a bit of that, but it works.
Yeah.
And it's like, that car sails a little far, and it, with the weight of an engine on that would probably pitch it forward, but this is movie magic we're going with.
You almost want the car to hit the back of the ambulance.
And the back tire just kind of over at the very corner of the ambulance. And he lands, and I'm sorry, I don't care how fancy this car is. It's still a Ford. You land that hard, that car is dead.
It's dead, yeah.
Period.
It's wrecked.
And I drove a Ford for several years. No.
Yeah.
The car is fucking wrecked. I don't care. The tires are dead. The whole the end of that car is dead.
But the car stays mostly intact, and he gets away from this traffic jam. He gets away from Castlebeck and the others, and he gets down to the pier, and he's at the pier. He is literally 2 minutes late.
12.
No, he's 12. He's 12 at the salvage yard.
Oh, right, yeah.
He's 2 minutes late at the pier, and they say, "Nope, too late. You're late. Take it up with Cleetry." So he goes to the salvage yard, and he looks at his watch, and that's when it was 12 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I brought you your car. It's just like, it says, I said 50 cows, not 49 and a half.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What? I mean, this just needs a little.
like,
this will buff out. Yeah, little fiberglass, good as new."
Putting the mirror back.
He's like, at book value, it's 60, 70, 80, call it 80.
We take 80 from 200, and we're good. We're done. It's like, good. Done. And it's just, he's Chris Eccleston being a scary motherfucker.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we see that it probably was never going to work out for Memphis Reigns anyway.
It made no difference because he was fucked regardless.
Because he says, no one insults me, no one puts a gun to me head. And he was probably going to, Kalitri was probably going to backstab him. And,
he was probably
anyway.
going to fucking kill him regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It made no difference.
The whole thing was kind of pointless. So he sends Memphis to go get killed and dropped in a crusher. But at this point, Atlee and Kip have shown up, and they distract the thugs long enough for Kip to swing the big claw hook around and take out the thugs. We see Eleanor go into a crusher.
It's Toy Story 3.
Yeah. We see Eleanor go into a crusher, and Memphis just like, oh god, no, not another one.
Okay, so at this point too, backtrack a little bit. Little side scene.
Mm-hmm.
Kip is pissed off because
they're at the doctor's. It's him and Atlee.
Him and Atlee are having a
waiting
discussion
for, Toby.
because Toby has been brought to this private doctor. The doctor basically tells him that he's going to be okay, and Atlee tells Kip that he's going to, it's probably a good idea to get him out of town. And Kip is like, no, I'm not going to run. I'm not like my brother.
I don't abandon people.
I don't abandon anybody. And he's like, if you think your brother abandoned you, you're as dumb as...
You're dumb as bricks, kid.
Yeah, and he's like, what are you talking about? And he's
like,
like, do you think your brother actually, wanted to leave? You think that this is, something he wanted to? Just, leave everything he knew and everyone he knew.
It's like, your mother made him leave.
Yeah, basically, your mother made him leave. Because she didn't want you to turn out like him.
Follow in his footsteps, and then 6 years later, and look, you're a big, tough car boost anyway.
You turned out exactly like him.
And this is where Kip starts to kind of redeem a little bit, where he realizes, okay, I've
misjudged everything.
Kind of a dick. I didn't realize the situation. Shit. So,
maybe I should talk to people and actually think things through like an adult.
Maybe I should talk to people like a goddamn grown-up.
Yes.
But then we wouldn't have most of, cinema history.
That's true.
Because no one
we
talks
wouldn't
to
have
people.
any stories ever.
Yeah.
Because, if people talk to each other, then no stories would exist.
Talk to each other like a goddamn adult.
So Kip and Atlee show up and they save the day, right? Sort of,
more or less. And at this point, Memphis runs back into the building and kind of waylays Kalitri, punches him dead in the mouth, and they start having a fight. And it's a fun little fight. And at one point, he picks up a
first they have a little altercation. They have a little verbal fight, and then he picks up his wooden carpentry stuff, and then he starts insulting the wood.
Yep. and Kalitri's just like, no, put that down. Oh, right, you got a thing for wood, don't you?
His weak spot.
So he starts breaking the chairs, and Kalitri's freaking out.
She stabbed him with it.
Right?
Yeah.
Should have broken a piece and then stabbed him with it.
And you are death by the thing that you love. It is your downfall.
So yeah. In the meantime, Castlebeck and the other guy continue.
And Timothy Oliphant.
Yes, they realize okay, that we missed everything on this. Fuck it. Where's Kalitri's place? It's down at Exeter Salvage, but Homicide told us very specifically not to go there
because they had done a little bit of research, found out that that everything was being done for Raymond Kalitri. When they looked into Raymond Kalitri, they found out that he's a big shot when it comes to stealing cars
and
steal furniture
and murder.
So they were looking into his murder rap sheet and stuff like that. And Homicide came in and went, no,
it's like
bad.
No, bad monkeys,
no cookies,
no biscuits for you. And because police departments can't really
work
cooperate
together
with each other. They had that in the last movie too. Whereas, like, you're not getting the glory for this. It's just like, as long as the guy goes down, who cares? Who cares who got the glory? But, you know, the police and FBI and all that are full of alpha males, and I'm not one of those.
Well, this too is because you can get more time in jail for murder than you can for Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto, I think the most you can get in jail is something like 15 years. Whereas Murder 1, you can get in California...
Good behavior, much less.
Right.
Yeah.
California Murder 1, you can get the death penalty.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Because you got the death penalty anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
and,
yeah.
So, yeah.
And also the way the California prisons are, I mean, you could easily just go in, you know, spend maybe a month.
And
right.
you don't come back out.
No, but spend maybe a month and leave.
Then leave.
Yeah, and
because of overpopulation.
Overcrowding.
Yeah. There's a lot of... It's California. There's a lot of loopholes, leeway.
Was it the sheriff was he in Texas or was he in Florida? Or no, I think it might have been Arizona, where he was like happy to say that his prisons were like concentration camps.
Yeah,
like everyone
Sheriff
stayed out.
Patino, I think, was his name.
He stayed out. They stayed out in the elements. Regardless, they didn't have actual hope.
Yeah.
I will show you, honey.
I don't want to know.
This man was proud of the fact that he treated prisoners like slaves.
Yeah, and the fact he got pardoned by the last guy too.
He got pardoned by the orange asshole.
Oh my God!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you're like no, like
Roger Stone got pardoned as well. Yeah. Remember, anyone that the Cheeto in chief pardoned is a terrible, terrible human being.
Yeah,
and I use the word human being loosely.
That's an insult to human beings.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, off politics for the moment. Sorry. I knee-jerked into politics. So now it's Castlebeck, his manservant, and Memphis, and Kalitri. Because I can't remember the character's name, man. He's just that guy. They're all just kind of... They're all in different parts of this factory.
Kalitri keeps shooting at Memphis.
And Memphis keeps trying to dodge, and at one point he breaks through
and Castlebeck hears all these gunshots going off, so he's on edge. So he's running around with his gun too, and of course,
Timmy has his gun out, and he goes in the wrong direction.
He's in the wrong direction completely. We don't know where he goes.
So,
Castlebeck is running around, and that's when Kalitri sees Castlebeck as well. So he starts shooting at him too, because he's like, "Oh, cop! Hey, I can kill him too."
Yeah, he ends up with the cop. He ends up with Castlebeck, dead to rights, and he's like, "I'm a cop. You don't want to do this." Yeah, I do. Yeah, I absolutely do. And who the hell are you? What are you doing here? And basically, while they're having this argument back and forth, and Kalitri's got to be dramatic about you have the stars and stripes, 21 gun salute, would be the greatest day of your life, if I shoot you and all this. Randall sneaks up on him and kind of shoves Kalitri off of a railing, and he falls what feels like 5 stories down through the glass roof of his office and into the coffin that he had carved himself. The one that he was going to put Kip into.
With some dodgy green screen.
The green screen is it's okay.
It's lovely tonight.
It's not
a bit silly.
Yeah, it's not as bad as some that we've seen. The best kind of green screenish.
It's not the Funicello bucket.
It's not the
Funicello bucket. No.
And the best green screen, oh God, I'm falling moment is and always will be Die Hard.
Yes.
Because they did not tell...
Alan Rickman.
Thank you, I almost called him Snake.
Yeah.
They did not tell Alan Rickman when they were going to drop him. So that was a look of legit panic. So he falls, and then Castlebeck and Memphis
symbolism.
They have a moment. And, he found out later from the informant Fuzzy that, Kip had screwed up, and that's why Memphis is here. So he's like, okay, so we've got a reason for this.
Yeah, he didn't want to actually do any of this.
It's like, you just saved my life, didn't you? And Memphis just kind of looking at him was like, okay, where do we go from here? And he said, get out. get out, go now before I change my mind.
Because he realizes that he didn't really want to do any of these things, and he's not back to actually steal cars. He doesn't want to do any of this. He's not here to be quote unquote back.
Yeah, he's not trying to get back into the game. He did this for his brother. So
yep.
Sends him away, and we have our final scene. It's like a cookout at Otto's.
Raines actually says, "Oh, by the way,
there's a container
ship at this
pier
pier
14 or whatever.
You may want to actually look at it.
Might be interested in checking it out." So basically, it's just like, yeah, I did this, but here, have him back. And our last scene, they're having a cookout at Otto's, and everyone's just kind of sitting around. We see Toby, he's got his arm in a sling, and Sway is like feeding him, like cutting his food, feeding him. And they're like, damn, shoot me anytime. Blah, blah,
While
blah.
making out with Nick Cage, too.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, poor Toby. And
that's when
I don't know the
opens his mouth.
I can't remember the entire speech.
It's
but
actually here.
You have it?
It's here, yeah. Hold on.
Is your phone being difficult again?
Hold on.
Some fancy Shakespeare kind of stuff.
It's like, let's see. If his unpleasant wounding is in some way enlightened the rest of you as to the grim finish beneath the glossy veneer of criminal life and inspired you to change your ways, then his injuries carry within an inherent nobility, a supreme glory. We should all be so fortunate. You say poor Toby, I say poor us.
And then there's a long pause, and I think it's Otto just goes, he spoke.
No, Tumblr said he spoke. And
Yeah.
Atlee
Just
says,
like,
yeah. And then Memphis says, hey man, I thought you were from Long Beach.
And then Sphinx just shrugs and they just continue on. We find out that Kip, I'm assuming this is like a few days after the fact, Kip parted out the chopper that he was building. He sold all the parts for it and bought Memphis a beater Elidor. Got a Shelby GT500 that's basically it's basically a rusted heap, but it's
with
like
an engine.
But he got it legit. He's like, here, you bought me a car.
Like, he goes, fix it.
And he's going to fix it. He's like, let's go for a ride. And he's like, you want to come with? And Sway's like, yes. And I don't have time for doors. So she just gets in through the window and gets really kind of uncomfortably into the seat. And our last scene is them driving off the lot and then driving off away from Otto's, like into the kind of yellow, kind of, I guess, midsummer sunset or whatever. And they're driving away and the screen goes black and we hear the engine sputter and it dies. Don't do this to me. And we get our credits. And
end of movie.
I fucking love this movie. I can't call it a great movie, but we all know my taste in movies at this point. It's like I like trash. I like goofy stuff.
I eat trash.
I eat trash. So yeah, that's our movie. Figure we'd take a quick break, get in a word from 4041 Media, and we come back with fantasy casting because I remember you were quite excited about a fantasy casting.
Oh
Yes.
So yeah,
We have the one that'll probably fix it all.
Nice. All right, so we'll be right back.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for listening.
Movie Theater Time Machine is a part of the 4041 Media Group with podcasts like Psych Your Crime and Free Your Geek, which you can check out at 4041media.com. That's all squished together one word, and the numbers are written as numbers.
Now it's time to tell us what you think. If you got an opinion or wanted to know what's coming up next,
Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram by searching for Movie Theater Time Machine.
now our podcast will always be free to subscribe and share.
But if you'd like to help us build a bigger, better podcast, not to mention our confidence, you can find merchandise designed by me, Kaz, at Zazzle. Or check out the Kaz Foxen's Animal Shop at Zazzle for cute animal gifts and pet supplies.
Thanks so much, and back to the show.
And we're back. Okay, so fantasy casting. You've been kind of like just vibrating with excitement on this one. What's the idea we got?
We are going to swap out Eleanor for Christine.
Oh God!
And
That explains why the car is so angry.
Yeah.
But now you've got the car is looking for him.
Yeah,
Maybe the car needs to boost him.
We got a straight up Plymouth Fury just like chasing the son of a bitch down.
And he's chasing her, but they keep just not meeting at the right times. And 20?
A straight 20. I mean, that works. 20 and up, right?
Yeah.
So it's a love story.
It's a love story from a weird point of view. It becomes like a love story, paranormal horror romance.
But I think the best part of it is this enhances the cage.
Yes.
It's like, I would come back for you, Rod.
Now, see, this brings in like Drive Angry Cage.
Yes.
And there's another one out that I've heard of that I think is a little too new for this month called Mandy, where he is batshit insane in it.
Yes.
Which I just want to watch that for just reasons.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Where's the crazy cage that we hear about in memes? When's that coming?
I'm pretty sure we're going to see at least some of it in Ghost Rider.
Okay.
Oh, it's in Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Oh, Ghost Rider, this one.
And I'm trying to remember exactly.
I'm trying not to ham it up too much, but my God, this is. He's knocking at the door.
But now I'm thinking.
Now, is he in this one in Ghost Rider? Is he playing Danny Ketch or is he Johnny Blaze?
Both, I believe. Because it's when he's as the demon, he's Johnny Blaze.
What?
When he has the demon, he refers to himself as Johnny Blaze.
Okay.
Well, there's been multiple Ghost Riders.
Yeah, there have been. Danny Ketch was one, and then Johnny Blaze was Ghost Rider first, I think.
Yeah.
And then the spirit moved on to Danny Ketch, who's Ghost Rider. I'm gonna admit I know some stuff about Ghost Rider, but Ghost Rider is kind of a blank spot for me.
Yeah,
like most of DC, I am aware of it in its existence.
Is this one next week?
Ghost Rider we're going to do after that, but we can do it next week if you'd like.
Oh no,
because next week is going to be Wicker Man.
Oh, no, but still, okay, no, that's Crazy Cage.
Bees! Drop-kicking old lady dressed in
Crazy Cage.
Drop-kicking old lady in a bear suit.
Yeah.
The Bees was a cutscene.
Yeah. Yeah. Not the bees.
Not the bees! So yeah, I think the first two episodes of this month have been kind of a more settled Cage, kind of a normal Cage, and then we're going to go Crazy Cage.
Yeah, and I would...
You ever get cagey?
Yeah.
I see what you did there. Get out.
I'm all about the stupid puns.
So we see the sexy cat. Alright. I would say for listeners, if you do watch The Wicker Man with us, watch the original British version first, and then watch the Cage version.
I barely remember the original.
Yeah. The original British version is like a 70s style horror movie that is played very dry, very, very focused.
Very British.
And then gets crazy as hell at the end.
I've never seen the original.
Yeah, we don't really have
We got some time this week. Do you want to do that?
Then you watch the Cage version and you see, what you notice is he
and then the American
watched the original and then started doing his own version of some of the scenes.
Okay.
It gets better that way.
Dear.
I can't remember the original very well.
I don't think we have to. We just you notice that if you know.
I just remember there was a really catchy tune in the middle of.
Yeah, but if you know it's his version of a remake, it's so much better. I need to talk to those children. What do you know? What do you know? Come on, you gotta tell me something about this island in Washington D.C. It's so weird. We're in Washington. I know.
I think originally
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
It's a regular harvest, not like it wasn't like a bee keeping.
Yeah, but it was the harvest they had every year. Yeah. And also, there is a parody of it on South Park where they do this to Britney Spears.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, poor
They
Britney.
have to sacrifice her for whatever.
It's the harvest.
For the harvest.
Wait, we have a harvest now?
Since when? This is Colorado.
Well, in later seasons, Randy gets the weed farm, but that's years later.
Still fucking classic.
We're gonna sacrifice her again for so the weed can grow.
Oh man, it's a brilliant episode. It's combine
Small town with
the
creepy secret trope.
combine this movie with Christine. Oh man, that
would definitely change the feel of the entire second half of the movie. It's like, oh no, it's Christine.
Yeah.
Shit, I shouldn't have come back.
I don't know why I came back, but I came back for you.
Or what if Christine was replaced with Bender as the werecar?
Oh my god.
God.
I'd say to add to it, you have that. Oh, God, what the hell is his name? I do not want to Google it, but the guy who played Fred Gwynn. So if you had Fred Gwynn in the auto role.
Okay.
I told you not to come back here. Obviously doing his Pet Cemetery role.
Oh, so
Yeah.
Things don't come. You came back not right.
You came back not right for it, and I tell you honestly, we ain't gonna have this, but you know what? We gotta go get the cars. Some people don't understand the cars, and that's what it is.
It's a low rider, sir. It's a low rider.
It's a low rider.
Bum, 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 bum,
Oh my god, what if the truck from Duel was
Oh god.
the mob boss
Shit.
ordering Christine to boost 50 humans?
That truck is terrifying.
Yeah.
It really, really is. That rusted out,
one
horrible.
of my favorite horror movies
And
of all time.
you never see the driver.
Yes.
You just know that he gets cut off at one point, and it's just, all right, motherfucker, you're dead.
Maybe it's a possessed truck, and you know,
Wasn't it one of it was like one of Spielberg's first, right?
His very first movie.
His very first. Okay.
Hey, Christine,
Yeah.
boost me 50
His
humans.
first
You have
movie.
72 hours, or I will throw you in the scrapyard with the brave little toaster.
You're gonna go in the crusher, and we're gonna sing about how you're worthless.
No,
That scared me.
Once
I know for the...
Once drove a Texan to a whipping.
Oh my god. Stop it.
It's in my head now. It's in yours.
Stop it.
Let's see. There's the cars from Cars. What if they were all cars?
Yeah.
From the Cars universe.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
they,
okay.
You know, they gotta go boost humans.
Yeah. I tell you what, that don't sound right to me.
Let's see.
I mean,
There's
Mater's basically a cannibal to his own people.
Yeah.
Like, he sleeps amongst the corpses of his kind.
Yeah.
It's true. Yes.
Man, I like this darkest stuff.
Cars is terrifying if you think about it for any longer than like a minute. You're just like, wait.
Door handles.
What about those cows, man?
Yeah.
The tractors? And they tip over backwards.
Let's see. We could just throw in every damn car character we know. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. There's Doomy from Beetlejuice, the cartoon,
Oh, God.
who was also a werecar.
Benny from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Benny the Cab.
There was all Transformers.
Just the entire Autobot forces.
The entire cast of Transformers.
So Otto would be an Autobot.
Yeah, actually, no. If we're going with the name, if we keep the name Otto, we can replace him with Otto
From The Simpsons?
Mega Man.
Oh.
His name is Auto, Otto, but they pronounce it Otto, and he's basically like the big, dumb mechanic who has a bazooka for some reason. So now we're bringing Mega Man into... I don't know why. I just remember him, and I remember he's fun.
What if he was like Otto and he forgot he had mustard?
Let's get blood too. Smells like Otto's jacket.
Yeah. Oh, what about My Mother the Car?
Oh God, what was there was a cartoon. Turbo Teen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The kid who gets like splashed with water and turns into a Corvette or something.
Oh yeah.
What?
Well, that's the oddest Ranma 1/2 thing I've ever heard.
I don't know if it's necessarily water, but it's like I believe it's called Turbo Teen.
That's the thing.
There's no I in
There's
Turbo.
Kit, but I don't know much about that. About Knight Rider.
I did see a great meme, and I hate to date this, but it was a great meme lately with David Hasselhoff, like, "Come here and get me, Kit."
What the actual
and then it was
Kit's gonna go rescue Kit.
yeah, and it was
So we got Turbo Teen, and then as he's changing, his face gets all Corvetted.
Oh god.
This was a thing.
Yeah.
Why? Why is that a thing?
Did he solve crimes?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
you know, there's apparently a whole subreddit of drawings of dragons fucking cars.
I'm not
That's
at all
not
surprised.
surprising at all.
I mean, it sounds like it started out as a joke.
Started as a joke, and then there's nothing on the internet that people won't jerk it to. So of course it becomes its
there's
own
an
thing.
entire section of DeviantArt with pregnant Transformers. There's nothing I have. So, you know,
Nice.
yep.
Don't remind me. Clank, clank, clank.
I have broken down.
So if
Not
if,
the
it-
hair of a day tonight.
if Gone in 60 Seconds was a romance with Reigns and Christine,
Yeah.
would he have to dress up as a dragon to make sweet love to her when they finally get reunited? And do they
I'm a
run in
dragon.
slow motion across a field?
I'm a dragon.
And then at the end of
She
this,
tears up the
at the end of this,
Fire breathing
Well, there
motherfucker.
is a tailpipe in there.
Yeah.
okay, now that's Southland Tales. Stop it.
I knew somebody was going to get it.
Oh, and after all this, just like Cliff Jumper from Transformers Prime is watching on an abject horror. He's just watching this whole thing. He turns to the camera, is like, "The fuck is wrong with you people?" And he's voiced by The Rock.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. For at least the first season, anyway.
For the first 3 episodes,
Yeah.
because he don't stick around long.
No, because he dies.
He gets zomboidified.
Yes.
Zombified?
Yes, he
Yes.
does.
But it's Transformers, so they call them Terrorcons. They can't call them zombies because we can't be normal in Transformers.
That's a trope too, where where people never want to call their zombies.
Oh, you
zombies.
mean the walkie BBs? Like
Yeah.
you mean zombies?
Don't say the Z word.
You don't say the Z word.
Yeah.
We go to
was-
Winchester,
Yeah.
have a pint, and wait for this to blow over.
Yeah.
All this to blow over.
But oh man, I can't wait for Worker Man now.
But that was Gone in 60
Yeah.
seconds.
Yep. Go
that's
watch
gonna be
this
great.
movie.
Yeah.
It gets a full 10 out of 10 for me,
Yeah.
or 7.5 out of 10. Perfect. Watch it.
Yeah.
I say if you're
If you
looking
don't want to
for
watch it, listen to the soundtrack, because the soundtrack's the bomb.
yeah, if nothing
Yeah.
else, the soundtrack is goddamn amazing. So
I owned this soundtrack on a CD.
okay,
a
kids, back in the day, a
CD.
CD was this round thing.
It's a tiny record
Yeah.
Yeah.
with
Yeah,
rainbow colors.
okay, you know what
On
vinyls are now.
laser.
Because vinyls have come back around, apparently.
Yeah.
It seemed like a lot of the scenes were, I don't want to say monochrome, but heavily colored, rather than relying on natural color. So
A lot
it
of
was
the daytime stuff is tinted yellow, because it's got that whole, sun-drenched thing going on, especially when...
pea filter.
Yep, it's the piss filter. Everything at night was
desert is
either
piss.
blue or green.
Yeah,
It was,
so,
very heavily tinted, and...
There was some purple in there, too.
yeah, there was a bunch of purple.
and then there was one that had some red and blue and yellow, probably to evoke a sense of the cops.
Yeah.
There's some green somewhere, but I don't know. That just seemed
The green was around the snake.
The green, yeah, there was a lot of the scenes with the snake and in the bar with Sway. There was a lot of green in the
I was
bar with
thinking
Sway.
of Bob's Burgers with the snake in the limo.
Right,
Monday
one of the
through
cars,
Friday,
one of the cars they had to boost was a limo,
Yeah.
and I was just like, "Well, get the door for me. Why don't Kip's just get the door?" It's like, "Oh, you rock star son, get in the goddamn car." It's just a fun movie. Check it out if you can. So yeah, next week.
It's the Wicker Man.
Right now, Chino falls down for no good reason. Next week is going to be The Wicker Man. So until then, be good. Take care of yourselves. But don't be too good.
Not the